Hold on now. There it is. Okay, that's enough of that shit. You're going to speak where the white letters are. You see the white letters? You too. Right here. White letters. When we get you in here.
Just sucking on a big microphone?
Yeah, just suck it. Just suck it. Can you hear us? I don't know. I think you can hear us. Maybe. Hey, can you guys hear us? What's going on, guys? Warner. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Guess who's on with me today, Dad? Leanne. That's right. So you'll probably want to watch this one. It'll be entertaining. Can you guys hear us? Okay, good. I've got confirmation that we are heard, except for Elton.
Yeah, I'm kind of still standing over here.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sin City 11 episode. I think we're at 19. I think somewhere around there. I've got some. I got some new. Oh, Dad's laughing. Dad's laughing. He already knows it's gonna be entertaining today. Yay! All right, and let me pull up this real quick. Oh shit, that one. That one. Okay, cool. And we're taking calls. Not right now, but we will. We will be taking calls. Hi guys. Good morning.
Good morning, Randy.
Good morning, Brandy.
Welcome to Sin City 11.
Thanks for getting me out of bed early.
So I just have to ask right off the bat, am I the first married person that you've had on the show?
Nope.
Oh,
nope.
okay, good.
You're not. Nope.
Okay, good.
No, you're not. We had Jason Outlaw on. He's one of the co-hosts on one of the podcasts here as well. So he was on one day. It was 2 and 2, 2 guys and 2 girls, but it was 3 of us were single and he was the only married one. So he gave his input. But I forgot even what we talked about that episode. Oh, that's the radio dog. That's Gizmo, the radio dog. Say hi, Gizmo.
Dogs love me.
Yeah, you do. You track them.
Us dogs have to stick together.
Yes. Those men and those dogs. Yes. So we are taking calls today. If you guys are watching, the number should be on the screen there. But it is 702-832-0364. He's laughed up. So, you know what? It's just going to be a shit show today. I don't even know what we're talking about. We got a couple of topics that we thought about. This is true. We do say that every week. But, hey, they always turn out pretty good. There's always something that goes on.
All right, so what are we going to get into first?
Well, I want to introduce my friends.
Sounds good.
These are my friends. Hi, friends. To my left is Elton. Elton,
Hello,
say hello to the
radio
crowd.
world.
There's a camera there. There's a camera there. The camera's all over the place.
Cameras, yay.
Yay. Yeah. So, Brendan's texting me. Sometimes that's never a good thing. Can't hear your male guest.
It's probably better off that way, Brandon. Trust me on this.
Well, the volumes are all up, so we'll see what happens. So this is Elton. I've known Elton. Elton, how long have I known you?
Oh, God, since at least 20 years. Probably, I would say since late 90s.
Was I still at Best Buy when we met?
I honestly don't know what you were doing for work. We were just volleyball buddies back then.
Yeah, it's been a while. And Leanne?
Ooh, Al's garage. I think we have not determined where we actually met or how. We just know we've been friends since early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it's been a shit show ever since.
Yeah. And we always get like, you guys look like sisters.
Absolutely.
Do we?
I want to put together an album of all of our shenanigans, but I think it would be like a book so thick of pictures because we've just done so much.
It would, and it would almost probably be X-rated if we actually added pictures. Good thing we
no.
don't take pictures like that.
That's true. Wait, what
Somebody
are you trying to
said
say we do?
So they say they can't see Leanne.
That's perfect.
Leanne's like, that's exactly what I wanted.
Yep.
If you want to see Leanne, you'll have to go to the Sin City 11
I mean, it is
page.
morning after all. Does anybody really want to be on camera?
No.
Right.
That's the
Elton's
first thing
got
I
a good
told
hat
her.
on, though. Check him out. He's got the Indian
Yeah,
hat
they're
on.
rocking Chief Wahoo, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second.
What do you want to talk about?
Why all of a sudden is it like politically incorrect to have mascots?
Oh, it's so annoying.
You know?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, so they've substituted the Block C now.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like the Block C.
I only have this because somebody bought me this shirt. I refuse to buy anything with a Block C on it.
I love
It's all
Chief.
Chief all the way.
I mean, how long? When did he get created? 19
Oh, in the
teens? 19
in the 20s,
teens?
In the 20s.
Was it 20s?
Well, maybe the teens. Yeah, it's a long time ago though.
Yeah, that sucks.
And he's changed his face a couple times, but I mean, it's a mascot. And if
Yeah.
anything, it's glorifying, you know, what tribal people would want their warrior to look like. You
But
know
people
what I mean?
can argue that. That's the sad thing.
I just think the sensitivity level of everything right now is obnoxious.
It's off the charts.
It is.
Like absolutely obnoxious. Grow some balls. Like
If-
come
if
on, life is
1%
just
or-
what it is.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's
get.
rough. It is rough, sadly.
If just a small portion of somebody is upset about something, then we treat it like the majority.
Yes, that's what society has become.
You can't say anything, can't do anything. You're like, oh, who am I offending? You're, get over
It does make it rough. It makes it rough. It makes it rough in anything.
Every
Anything
subject.
anymore.
Every subject. But yeah, I think the mascots and I think just the overall sensitivity of everyone, especially with the mass social media that we're on right now, you would think the sensitivity level would be dropping, and yet it's just getting
Worse.
more amplified,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, more sensitive people are coming out of the woodwork.
Who knew?
Where did you come from? So crazy. I know, it's crazy. Oh wait, here. So yeah, so Elton, married, single, gay, straight. What do we got?
I mean, gay isn't happy, yes.
Yes,
No.
you are. You got a good marriage.
I do. I've been married just over 2 years now.
How long you been dating? Well, how long were you dating?
Okay, so you really want to hear our whole story?
Let's hear it.
All right, so we started
Our,
dating.
our friends want to know about you.
Okay, so my wife and I met when I was working as a flair bartender at the Rio. And
Ooh,
she
that was a
came
while
in-
ago.
Yeah, so I started there in 2003. I met Terry in 2009.
She was a
And-
guest,
She was
She
just
was a
sitting at my
customer.
bar, and honestly,
Ooh, so you're saying
And
there's a
so- okay.
chance.
right?
yeah, look, you know,
I don't want to hear it out of you. You get hot dudes coming into your place all the time.
right? But that's how it works, man. It's a very flirtatious kind of job. It's a way, that's how I make money is by flirting. And so one thing led to another. We were actually just friends at first, which is unusual because there's plenty of girls that I met that, were
Don't
just
want to
like,
be just friends. They just want to
they
happen
were
to
Hence
just-
the
that.
dog
they were just
comment
one-night
earlier.
stands. Everyone wants to say that they hooked up with a bartender in Vegas or whatever. You know what I mean? So I was just a story.
yeah.
I was just a footnote in somebody's long.
Coming from another bartender.
Hey, now.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Cross away.
But no, we were just friends. Like we didn't even date the first time we met. Like she was just a guest at my bar, and she was a pretty girl, and I liked her. And so the next couple times she visited, I asked her out, and we dated, and it was just friends with benefits kind of thing at first. And because she
Those
lived-
don't usually last, oddly enough, or turn into something. Usually just stays friends with benefits and everybody's okay with it.
yeah, and I've had some of those relationships over the years as well. But this one, it developed into more over the time. And the thing is, she lived out of state, and I always told her, I said,
Yeah,
listen,
that's right.
I said, I don't want a long distance relationship. When you're here, I will treat you like my girlfriend. We'll have fun. But you do what you want when you go home, and I'll do what I want when when you go home. And
That's
one
a
thing
nice
led to-
arrangement.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it was. But I gotta be honest, man. Terry, she wasn't really dating anyone else. She wasn't. She kind of held her hopes out for me, and I kind of knew that.
But you were hoeing out? Ho.
I mean, at least I was upfront about it. I didn't lie, and that's my
That's
biggest
half the
thing
battle
about.
these days.
That's
At
my
least
biggest
you're
thing about
honest.
relationships
Yeah.
is just don't lie. You know what I mean? If you're just
Yeah.
honest about what you want,
Yep.
Yeah.
Better chances of getting it, that's for sure.
And in Terry's
True.
case, it worked, man. At the end of the day, one day she called me up. I asked her to come out for Valentine's Day. I was
Ooh.
Did
like,
you
The
pay
big
or did
holiday.
she pay to
well,
fly
this
out?
this was an annual thing for us because she'd already spent the last 2 Valentine's days with me coming out to visit.
How cute
and
is
so-
that?
Yeah, we started just hanging out more and more. She'd come out for birthdays and then Valentine's Day and then
Where was
This-
she living? How far was it?
Sacramento.
Okay,
So
that's not
she would
too
come
cheap.
down
Not
quite
too
a bit.
bad.
Quite a bit.
And that's usually a cheap flight
Yeah.
down.
She would drive
Everything's
it
cheap
sometimes.
into Vegas. They're all like, come on, suckers, bring your asses in here.
Come
Let's
spend
take
some
all your
money."
money. Flying out of here, they're like, no, you guys can't leave. It's $1,000 to fly to Cleveland now. What?
I
It's
know.
Cleveland. What?
Cleveland. At least you don't have to
Jesus
spend as much money
Christ.
when you get there.
This is
Not like
true.
Vegas, right?
No, yes. But that's how they get you. Cheap flights, and then you lose all your money here. That's how it works.
So one day she calls me up, and actually I called her. I was on my break at work, and I said, listen, I don't want you coming out for Valentine's Day. I said, I promise, like, I just can't, I can't continue to pretend like we're in a relationship when we're not. I said, I don't, love you. And
Oh, ouch.
yeah,
Wait, how long was this now into the relationship?
we had been friends with benefits for 2 or 3 years.
Wow, and you didn't love her yet?
No, I
I
absolutely
mean, I guess
did-
it might be
listen,
kind of hard since you're not together.
Hey, this has a Hollywood ending. You want to hear the rest?
Well, I'm chiming in. I'm trying to, get conversation here. I'm just saying, like, after that long, you would think you either love or you don't love
You
somebody.
would exactly
You would
think that. So
I don't
this
know.
is what happened. I hung
You're
up
a
the
true
phone.
male.
Frank's
Just-
watching.
I told
Hey,
her,
Frank.
Frankie, what's up? I told her, I don't want to see her anymore. Hung up the phone and then cried like a baby. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize
She
to that
challenged
moment.
you and you felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I immediately called her back and said, I don't know what I was thinking. And I was
I
like,
wasn't.
I said,
wasn't thinking.
I said, I just sobbed like a little boy, and I want you to move here. And that was it. I said, I want you to move here. I said, I want to be with you. And that's the moment
That's a
I
huge
realized,
move for anybody. Like just to.
Oh
up
yeah, it
and-
took 8 months of convincing after that. It was not like, okay, yeah.
Sure. I mean,
So
especially if she's got a good
She
job.
did put me
Yeah.
on the hook, yeah, and she had a great job too. That was it. She was a nurse in California, and she was making really good money, and she was attached to her family out there. She had a lot of ties to sever to take that leap of faith.
So
to
her
be
whole
with me.
family's out there.
Half. Sure, her parents are split up, so half were in Chicago, half were in
Got it.
Sac. But yeah,
That's a big deal. I've done that move. I
Yeah,
did it. I
you
did
have.
it
We'll
cro-
talk about that
I
in a
did that
minute here. That's a
cross-country.
good one.
It's a big move.
it is, and it's a huge leap of faith. Luckily for us, it worked out. Sometimes that's not the case, unfortunately. But
So did she
I knew.
move
I knew
in
she
with
was
you,
alone.
or did she just
Immediately.
move into town and
No,
had her own
immediately,
place?
Yeah, she came in, and I had a small place. I just lost my house because of all the real estate crisis and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a small little place. Wasn't expecting another person to be living there with me,
Like,
especially with
shit.
another cat, because she brought her cat with her.
That's
Cat
commitment,
lady,
man.
yeah, right. It's
Yeah, so we had-
commitment.
So then we had 2 cats, and then one thing led to another, and a couple years after that, engaged. Another year or 2 after that, and married, and it's all downhill.
Not.
No.
Wait. What?
Uphill.
Uphill.
Better answer.
Yeah, coming from this guy, like I think his post yesterday was like something about marriage and it's National Marriage Day, and you want to talk so much about your spats, and he just like ranted about her, like how
I
amazing
just
and
copied
everything
and
she
pasted
is.
that. It was a copy paste.
No,
I was
but
like
you know
copy and
what?
paste.
What
Copy
I-
paste tag. That's how you
Let's
showed
just
up
touch
these
on
days.
that for a little bit.
Oh.
It's the negativity that we all kind of think it's joking and it's all funny to be put marriage down or put being in a relationship down, or we're always like, oh, we
Yeah.
give each other so much crap about like
Right.
being in a happy, positive relationship. Yet we're all sitting out here striving to be in a relationship in general. It's like, I said this to one of my coworkers last night. He's always super positive, super nice. And I come in the back in the kitchen and he's always like, hey, Leanne, blah, blah, And last night he was just being joking, but he was just like, nope, I'm not making that for you. Nope, I'm not doing that for you. And he was kidding, but I was like, hey, we have enough negativity in the world. Like, why can't we promote each other's positive aspects? Why can't we just be like,
But he was
good for
joking.
you have a great marriage. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, he's like, it's all downhill from here.
Oh.
And I know you're kidding,
Yeah.
but it's like, why not just be super proud
It's
and
a good
super
point.
super excited about the relationship?
good
You're like,
point.
yeah, I have a great relationship. Yeah, I'm working hard. We struggle. We do great
That's a
things.
good-
But
you know-
say more of the positive things than focus on when we have the negatives. And
Trust me, that was my marriage. Everybody thought it was great. I posted everything
maybe we
positive
keep it
on
at
it.
real then.
Well, I mean, I
thanks, Frank.
pointed out the good, but I didn't
Yeah.
point out the bad. It wasn't anybody's business.
But I think everyone looked at your relationship and saw hope. And regardless of what was happening behind the
Right.
scenes, it did give people hope and things to strive for and things to be more positive about. Oh, I do need to go on a date night with my man. Oh, I do need to go do this or that, because you're seeing somebody influence the positive sides of a relationship.
Yeah.
And at least letting us see, because those things were happening. There were some great things
Oh yeah,
happening.
I don't deny that for
you
sure.
know.
I kind of always wanted that. I wanted the relationship that everyone looked at and it was jealous over because it was so good and so happy, and it's I kind of wanted to set like a standard for my friends to see, like, it is possible to be happy and
that's the lure of social
Sad
media
thing.
too. Is that's kind of a fallacy. Like, everybody puts on social media what the relationship looks like. Nobody sees what happens behind closed doors.
But then that's the drama. Do you want the drama on Facebook? Even though it's
No.
the honest
No.
drama, even
No.
though it's honest, nobody wants that part.
I have a couple of friends right now going through, they've been together 22 years. I mean, since they were kids right now, and they're going through a struggle. And we have a pretty tight-knit community in that aspect where people are very supportive and very open-minded. And they basically just said, hey, you guys all know us as a very loving couple, but we're struggling right now, and we would love your support and input and help to help us through this time, because we love you and care about you. They're not putting out what's going on, and they don't want it kind of going as a back and forth on Facebook, but they did reach out to their friends in their community and say, hey, life is real. We've been together 22 years. We're trying to figure this out. Some of you, my parents have been married 54 years, so I put them in contact with my dad. Like,
That's amazing
Hey,
to
talk
be
to
married
somebody
that
who's been
long
married for
anymore.
54 years
Right.
and has gone through those ups and downs, you know?
You would think after 22, you pretty much have it figured out, but you just never know.
But I think we're
sometimes-
always
think-
changing. I mean,
Of course.
you're
Well, that's a
gonna,
good
you're going
point,
to evolve
too.
and you're going to change.
It's a very
too.
fair point. Like, I look back at the person I was when I was 20. I don't even recognize that guy anymore.
Yeah.
It was so different now than back then. And, you know, that's what I tell young couples, too, because I see a lot of young couples that just got married in Vegas coming to my bar, and they're like, oh, Vegas. I said, listen, you know, whatever happens, you know, you're going to grow, you're going to change. The most important thing is that you compromise when you do. You know, talk about it. I always said the 3 C's. These are my relationship rules, the 3 C's of relationships: communication, commitment, and compromise. Those are the things that everything comes back to. It always comes back to those 3 things. If you don't compromise, you're not going to grow. You know, if you're not committed, you're not going to grow. And if you don't communicate, there's really...
Do people commit anymore? I think that's part of the problem.
Well, that's the first thing that popped into my head is that the grass is greener theory that's happening right now with the swipe right, swipe left, the ghosting, the everything else. It's just people used to just say, hey, I pick you, and then let's see what happens. And maybe it was 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but at least for that time frame, they were invested in that one person and
seeing if it'll work.
Right.
You know, giving it a chance. People don't even give it a chance. It's like one date, you're done.
That's why I think it's important to, you know, have those relationships early before you commit. It's important to date. It's important.
Friends with benefits before you commit is what you're saying.
Well,
No,
I mean,
kidding.
that's just one option.
I can't even find that. Guys are so damn dumb.
Of course, that's one option. Of course,
of course.
But you know, I like I said, I got into a relationship really late in my life, and I'm very thankful for that. Yeah. You know, I was in love when I was young, and I thought I was going to commit to this girl and live forever with her. You know, luckily she dumped me. I was devastated at the time.
Luckily.
Yeah, but it would have been a nightmare, man. I was 22. Like, I didn't even figure myself out yet. I'd probably be divorced, you know? And at the end of the day, you know, I'm happy that I waited and I went through those I got my heart broken a lot. You know, I did my fair share of breaking hearts as well. I mean, it happens. But that growth led me to believe or know what I wanted. You know, and everybody needs to know what they want before they commit. And that's the issue today. People jump into stuff. They have no idea what they want. You know, they're not even happy with themselves. They want somebody else to fix them. But no, you have to be self-sufficient.
That's where it starts. I mean, it's got to be you're with yourself. You have to be happy and comfortable with yourself. And all the shit that you've gone through and all the past relationships that have broke you down, they're all lessons learned. And whether you have the strength and the ability to overcome it and fix it, or you let it break you down, is on you as a person. You can't put that blame on somebody else. You know what I mean? Well, it's your fault no, you need to figure out, okay, it was a lesson, and you're going to either learn from it and take something from it and pass it on to a good thing, or you're going to go be a bitter shitbag and, you know.
Well, okay,
keep pushing it on to other people.
Are you capable, though, of then saying, and hopefully you are, and I know I work on this on a regular, it's just still staying positive through all of those things that you may go through, you know, and taking that next person that you're going to meet and not bringing, someone said this the other day, and it was hilarious because she's dating somebody who is only been in one relationship, and it was a very minimal relationship, and she's been in 5 very significant relationships, and she's like, I'm coming with all these baggage, these 5 suitcases of baggage, and you're coming with this one little like carry-on, and it's a very different dynamic of what they're coming to this relationship with. And I said, okay, but you're on a different flight, so can you leave that baggage somewhere else? Like, do you need to bring all of that? And I mean, their lessons learned and their experiences, but it's very difficult. You meet someone new and you're like, okay, you're a totally different human being, and yet you're going to trigger things in me, but can I just allow you to be you? And I don't know, that's definitely tough every time you start.
I've got a really good analogy about that. So
start kicking the camera. Damn it.
Knock this down.
Everybody's got baggage.
Yes.
And like I said, it comes back to the 3 C's. This one comes back to communication. So how quickly you open that baggage and let somebody rummage through it is really the issue. So in the beginning of a relationship, you're not going to open up all the bags and say, look, this is where I've been.
This is my shit.
I've been to Italy, Rome. I've been to Paris.
Everywhere.
You know, hey, this is it. I'm taking you around the world. No, one thing at a time. It comes up in natural conversation. Look, here's a pair of underwear that I brought with me to, you know, to Phoenix one
Here's
time.
The other pair I stole
and, you
from
know,
this dude.
Phoenix was a redhead, you know. She was a fiery one, but, you know, we're not going to talk about her right now. You know, we're going to put that back away.
Yeah.
So you got to open that baggage slowly. You know, that's really what it comes down to. You can't dump all that on somebody immediately.
Yeah. I agree.
I just started reading this book, just trying to minefield this dating thing, you know, and get better at it myself and see some of the things that maybe I'm doing wrong. Because obviously women, we're very different and the way that we look at things, but it's called The Tao of Dating. And it's written by a man. And it's actually really, really good because it gives you a lot of insight. And he's very honest, and he says things very similar to that, like don't unload all of your stuff right away. Which is, I think that is a
it sounds easy,
common
right?
sense,
like it's common sense, but still people want to,
people don't have
up.
common sense anymore.
Well, it's not for
That's the sad thing.
Yeah. When it comes to emotions, it's difficult to, and that's where the learning process comes in and the growing process. There's been plenty of times where I've, worn my heart on my sleeve and left everything out there and got my heart broken. You know what? After that, you're like, okay, well, maybe I don't put it all on my sleeve.
I do a 3/4 length sleeve.
It's a learning
baseball
curve,
jersey.
And it also depends on the partner too. Some people are more receptive than others. I was very lucky to find somebody that accepted me for who I am, even though I'm not gonna lie, I was a male slut. She accepted my past.
Bragging.
She accepted my past.
But everybody has a past.
She knows that I was looking
especially
for
the
what I
older we
have
get.
and was able to look past that.
Hold on one second. Hey guys, if you want to call in, we are taking calls. If you want to chirp in with us, and Elton over here. Actually, we
Nobody
actually
wants to
sound
hear
pretty
me.
good. So it's 702-832-0364. Call in, chat, whatever you want to talk about. It doesn't matter. Chime in on baggage or whatever we're talking about. Okay, go ahead. Finish.
Terry, don't call. That is all.
Ooh, Terry.
No, all jokes. I'm such a smart ass.
Yeah,
So
you
I
are.
have something that's gonna be a little bit sensitive, maybe.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. Just
Sensitivity.
Careful.
Careful.
You brought up something earlier about like when you were asking like, oh, are you married? You straight? You gay? Da 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 da. And then we kind of were talking about how sensitive people are about all these subjects and needing to feel identified. You're gay, you're straight, you're bi. There's now 700 letters that go along and behind everything. I just heard a new one. Never heard this one before. I worked in gay bars. Like I've never heard this. So we're hetero-flexible. So you don't want to claim bisexuality, but you're hetero-flexible. So you would be, I like men, but women are okay sometimes. But I'm not bisexual. Like this is what I'm hearing or what I'm. And there's literally a term, and I feel it saddens me a little bit that everyone needs to feel feel the need to be so connected to something specific rather than just being part of a human race. And maybe the privacy of what you do in your bedroom is not as necessary, or I don't know. I'm just curious about your thoughts on.
I don't
on
understand.
That
That's a
need
new
be
one to me,
connected
too.
To an actual letter, like. I don't know.
Maybe-
I'm an Albertoni. That's what.
A for Albertoni. That's a new one to me. But I think you might have said that the other night when we were out. Hetero-flexible. I'm like, what the?
Again.
You're bi then.
That's
you would
how
think
I would
you're,
understand
or
it.
you're not
Curious.
just hetero. You like to try other things. Whatever. Is there going to be a hetero trisexual? Like you're trying any? I mean, what? I don't. That's weird to me. Like, wow, that's a new one.
I mean, I don't have a whole lot of input on this particular thing. I've always been straight, and there's no unique term that defines how I feel. I like women.
You're heterosexual. That's heterosexual.
I really wish I can have some input on this. I guess everybody wants to identify, right? Like everybody wants to feel.
I don't feel like I need. I don't know. Do I need?
Does it come down to like your sports team that gives you an identity? Your
Maybe, yeah.
You know,
You
That's
drive
a
a
good-
Jeep, so now you're a Jeep dude.
No, that's a fair point.
Jeep
yeah.
title, I'm a motorcycle.
You're right.
chick.
So in other aspects, yeah, you need to feel identified. So why not in your sexual life as well? I mean, I can relate to it. I just know for my personal self, like I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't. That's a new one to me. I mean, I know there's all kinds of ones that you wouldn't know, like all these fluidities, like
pansexual.
I don't understand. Like
I
those,
just
I don't
wanna support
understand.
everybody to do whatever they want
Yeah,
to do. Like
yeah.
to be honest, like you could just be you. I like you as
Yeah,
you.
I don't give a
really
shit.
need to
Just
know
be a
what
nice
title
person.
comes after what letters come after your name, like a doctor. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right, and you shouldn't have to feel like that person is the same title as you to be in a relationship. You know, you can explore that as the relationship grows. You know, you could start off feeling one way about a person and then
you get
grow and
kinky.
change.
Hey.
Let's be honest. You're not gonna say put a banana in my
Nipple
butt on the
clamps.
first
Here
date.
we go. Woo!
You're not gonna say
There's
that.
that luggage thing we were talking about earlier.
Right. Don't unpack that particular bag. just
Leave
yet.
that one. Don't put that one in there.
Take your time.
But all choked up there with the banana car.
Oh, hey. You never know what might come out of
Bet
this
you
mouth.
did. I bet you did. So okay. So we've kind of touched on Elton, who he is, how he met his wife Leanne. So you had a.
Wow, that was just
Let's
My wife
talk about
Leanne.
you.
straight
Well,
turn.
we
to
need
me.
to introduce you a little bit, and then we can still continue and bullshit. But we need to kind of, like, because you were talking. He met his wife, and she moved from states. You are single right now, correct?
Yes.
But you did that. You
did.
kind of because you
did.
bartend. And you met somebody. I mean, shit. I need to get back into bartending.
I call it going over the bar.
Yeah, that's a good term.
Yeah, and I find it actually more hilarious. As I think it happens more to men. The women come there, and if they're by themselves, they're going to flirt a lot more. The men usually, one, are not there by themselves. Two, not to pick up on the bartender. You are the hottest commodity until someone walks in the bar and is on that side with them. Mm-hmm. So, I don't feel like I get hit on as much as people think I get hit on. You know,
I call bullshit.
It's really true. I mean,
she's pretty smoking hot in the bar. I don't know. If I was a lesbian.
Hetero-flexible.
That is correct.
No comment. My wife
That's the
is
correct
watching.
term. Hetero-flexible.
But, I mean, yes, you get that flirt mode. You get, because that is our job. Our job is to make you feel like you're important, you're there. And it's not, and it makes us feel good, too. But, again, if you feel like you have a connection with somebody over the bar, the chances of that actually coming to fruition to anything, if someone else walked in and sat next to them and is a single female, you're like basically obsolete. They just snap their fingers and want to drink. You know, like you just disappear.
Well, because now they know they can get this chick drunk and take them home.
Exactly.
There's definitely some truth to that.
You
yeah,
know?
for sure.
I haven't bartended in a while. I used to get hit on when I was behind the bar. I need to get back into bartending.
You know what? Actually, that's
definitely
shit.
That is not a terrible idea.
You know,
can you get her
hogs
over
and
there?
heifers action going there where she can just put people down and.
I applied. Well, no, I applied to Coyote Ugly when they first opened, and.
I can't see you dancing on the bar though.
Yeah.
I think you.
Well, I would be more the MC, like mouthing off to everybody at Coyote Ugly. But
yeah,
I could have probably got into Hogs when it opened. But when they first opened, they didn't have benefits and insurance and stuff. And I was like, I can't give up the job that I had.
Right, but you could do it on the side. You know, you could just do it for a little extra cash plus benefits of
But can you see me dressed like that? I don't know. Like, and it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, can you see me dressed with like just?
I don't know. There's only one way to find out.
Let's
my boobs.
Try it.
Dude, I gotta lose about 40
What do we got around here? You can put on. What we got right. Why don't you just start by unzipping a little bit there, show some of that cleavage.
There it is. Wait, this is a great shirt.
She's got a rainbow shirt on.
Oh
Wait,
my
what?
Lord.
It's my pig.
Bacon made sausage.
Yeah, it's
oh look, 5 people just started
unicorn.
watching.
Okay. Why?
5 more people just logged on.
I don't know if it's the theme of the show. You've got animals having sex, and on my pants I have these leggings I got in a white elephant gift at Christmas of 2 reindeer having sex on my.
I didn't get the memo. You guys should have told me.
Like,
no, you totally missed out on that one, Elton. Jeez.
But going back to that one, I mean, as far as the bar, I definitely took the ultimate leap. Met someone.
Yeah, you did.
I like to say that the accent made me fall, and then the personality made me.
Where was he from?
He was from Australia.
Crikey.
Yeah.
Yes. Down under.
So basically, you just had to throw that accent. Leanne, you say beautiful. Come on across the bar.
She fell for it.
Let me show you me willy.
Hook, line, and she moved.
I did. I actually I went over there after 3 months of communication. I went over there for a couple weeks. Well, it was supposed to be a week. I stayed 3. And then came back and 3 more months. So a total of 6 months of dating.
Oh.
I packed it all up and moved to Australia for a couple years.
Sick.
That's pretty awesome.
Months
Yeah,
boom.
It was a challenging experience. I loved it as far as personal growth and committing to somebody else to do that. But, man, family and distance and things like that. I mean, when it's
especially
a
go
14-hour
somewhere
It's a
you
big
know.
leap. It's
Yeah.
a big leap.
It's not across the states.
And then you're also dealing with time difference. So when I'm trying to have mimosas for breakfast, you're having dinner, and it's it was a back and forth. But growing experience, it doesn't soil. It definitely makes it harder if I meet somebody who's long distance, for sure. I try to date somebody in Arizona and.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did it work? What happened?
All of my friends could see through that I just wasn't happy. To be honest, they're very, I love Australians, sorry, but they're over there. The Australians that travel are absolutely amazing. That's why everyone's just like, oh my gosh, everyone from Australia is so fantastic. And it's very true. They are very loving people, very loyal, very devoted. I just found when I went over there, it went straight to 1950s. As soon as I got off the plane, and this is not a joke, as soon as I got off the plane and arrived there with all my bags in tow, we drove to what they consider like their version of a Target, and he bought me an iron. I was able to pick out any iron I wanted, but I was
ironing shirts?
going to be ironing his shirts.
Are you sure it's not an iron?
An iron.
Iron?
Yes, it sounds so much better when you say.
Wait, he bought you an iron to iron his shirts?
Yes,
What the
yeah, that should have been a sign to get back on the plane, but I said, so who does it now? He said, my mom.
Mom.
How old is he? Or was he at the
I
time?
don't even know.
Yeah, that's just the
knows?
tip of the iceberg, man. That's just a hint of things to come.
Yep.
Like, don't
But
get me
you don't
wrong.
see
Like, I just
those.
got Terry a vacuum for her birthday, but like we've been doing this for a while. Dude, she was ecstatic about it.
For the
She loved
birthday
it.
present.
Right?
Yeah,
Happy
she was
birthday, honey,
ecstatic.
it's a
She loved it.
vacuum.
It's what she wanted. But like, definitely that would not have happened like early in the relationship.
Yeah,
you know?
first
like,
gift. First welcome home gift was
Hey,
an
thanks for
iron.
moving in. Here's a vacuum. What?
Yeah, the first thing I got her
So
was earrings.
in true Leanne fashion, I said, well, if I'm going to be doing the ironing, I'm going to need a wine fridge in the ironing room. So, we tried to make compromises. But
Right.
Yeah, she came back. I remember.
yeah, and that was a tough decision too. Coming back and starting over, that was definitely tough. But
That is a leap for
and
sure.
I think one of the things that people don't understand if you live in Vegas is it's transient, but it's tight knit when you have a core group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to move back to San Diego, and Vegas just draws you in. Once you've lived here for long enough, it's just becomes a part of who you are a little bit. And moving away
Yeah.
from it, it's
Yeah, but also,
difficult.
you're moving away to a new environment where you have new friends. The thing is about long distance relationships, and this I've always said this, is if you're going to somewhere where somebody else knows everybody and their friends and their circle of family and friends, you're the outcast. I've
Definitely.
always said this, and even though it's not true in my case, I'm a firm believer that if two people are in a long distance relationship and they want to make it work, that they need to move somewhere new together, somewhere
a great
neutral,
point.
where they make friends together, where they
Yeah.
meet new people together.
Or you're just friendly like us and we make friends with people no matter where we go.
There has
Some
to be a
people
lot of
have that.
integration.
just-
I'll tell you that.
it's
When I
hard.
moved there was no integration. There was no, and somebody who doesn't live in Vegas or hasn't lived in Vegas isn't going to know how we are. And we're very social. We're very different. We go out. We go. We
24/7
What do you mean we
Seven
can't get
town.
steak at 3:00 in the morning here?
Right?
Yeah. Well, it was really weird because being from a bar influence, there aren't bars in Australia like this.
Really?
Like, there's no just walk up and sit down at a bar in Australia. You grab your drinks and you go to a table.
Oh.
So there isn't that socialization. And if there is a bar
more
like
secular.
that, yes. And if there is a bar like that, it's male dominated. I walked into one bar one day that I found on a corner and they were like dead silence. Like, why are you here? And I was
Oh.
like, ooh, because females are
Yeah, so yeah,
lower
if you're gonna-
class citizens.
Really?
over
If you're
there.
gonna make that
Really?
drastic of a change, yeah, you definitely need to go somewhere neutral. I mean,
I like that
it's
idea.
completely different culture.
Yeah, that's not
And
a bad
like I said,
idea.
it did not work
Not
in my
easy,
case.
but-
No.
I was lucky enough that me and Terry found a hobby together when she moved here and made a new group of friends through that hobby. That's just something that happened and it worked for us.
Yeah, because she doesn't play volleyball, right?
No, and believe me, I tried. I tried.
So what was the new hobby?
My Jeep. So when I bought my Jeep, it was after I was in a relationship with her, and we started meeting a great new group of friends of camping, four-wheelers, people that are outdoorsy, and that's something I've always wanted somebody to share that part of my life with, is being more outdoorsy, and I kind of grew into that with her, which, worked out great. And she's from California, which isn't that far away, so, family is just right around the corner. It's a little bit different for us. But if you're talking to someone from LA and New York, go to Texas. You know what I mean? Go
Right.
somewhere neutral,
We have a
somewhere in
call.
between.
We have
Oh,
a
yeah?
call.
Who's calling?
I don't know. Let's find out. Hello, caller. Hello?
Hello? Nothing but static.
I'm not hearing anything.
Where's the tech guy? Where's the...
Hello, caller. We're not hearing you. I don't know if it's our side or your side.
Volume's all the way up.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. We'll have to try again. Call back in a few minutes. I don't know.
Huh.
Jay, any suggestions? I don't know what happened there. We got a caller, so hopefully we'll figure that out and they'll call back. Yeah, that was weird.
Is that your sister?
That is my aunt.
Oh, your auntie.
Yes, my aunt.
Hi, Auntie
My
Geese.
aunt is watching. That's
You
Aunt
didn't send me
Kathy.
the link, so I could send it out, but I'll have to do it later.
I
so
have you
people can-
tagged,
Oh, there you go.
but I don't see any of your friends, so they are not
Do I have to
supporting you.
accept tag?
Jerks.
You know me
I
and
don't
my-
think so.
I am so anti-technology. You hate that I don't touch
I know.
my phone and.
She's like, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Literally, okay, here you go. If this guy that completely just blew it and is
Typical.
mediocrely trying to get his way back in. I mean, and by mediocre, I mean like it's a once every other day good morning, and then it's
Yeah.
like a good night, and then it's like, well, I sent you a text, so you're not texting me back, so you're annoying me, and so goodbye. And I'm like, oh, well, that's not helping your case. But I mean, right now it's convention season, so we're slammed. Like, I
It
don't
is
look at my
SHOT
phone.
Show.
I know.
The men
should be coming
are
into the Golden
so
Sphere right
beautiful.
now, girl. I do not know why you are not doing happy hour at.
If I have to hear
Golden-
another
I
look at these
work.
guns joke, I swear to God.
Look at these guns.
I'm here for the SHOT Show, but I got my own guns.
Hey, I got a pass last year. I had a friend hook me up, and I just rolled around. Of course, I stared at the guns, but I was like looking at the men, like, hello.
Oh, I meant to
That's
ask
me
you
for
about that.
rodeo.
I saw you were hanging out with some Thunder from Down Under guys.
That was yesterday.
Because
The
I
guys
have
from
a
Aussie Heat were
regular
here.
that comes to my bar that's in that show. His name is Clint. Was that one of them?
Aussie Heat.
Oh, it's Thunder from Down Under.
Yeah,
is that
no,
different?
they're two different ones.
Crocky, my bad.
Yeah, Aussie Heat, which I might have one of those guys on in
Easy
2
to confuse
weeks.
them.
I love how I just opened
my
my
podcast.
Facebook and my first memory page is from me being in Australia. Like, is it like I'm telling you, Facebook
Wow.
knows
Oh,
it's
yeah.
totally listening.
Wow.
That's bizarre, right?
That is
And
kinda
but you know what I
crazy.
like about that? Sometimes, like, if you're looking for stuff, they send you
It'll just
coupons. They send you coupons. So if you ever want to buy something, like say you're in Home Depot and you say something that you want to buy, just start talking about it, and they'll start sending you coupons.
That's so
You
great.
know, like I
That's
need a new,
scary.
I need a new DeWalt driver with a 3-inch head or whatever. You know,
I know my friends are like,
wait for the coupon.
what did they say? They said something. Hey, Leanne, you're watching.
Hey, Leanne's watching.
Apparently, I'm watching.
You're watching. Look, hey, Leanne logged in.
It's like a mirror.
I'm gonna say hi to you, Leanne. Hold on. Hi, Leanne.
How do you?
there.
So, if you have tagging blocked, because I think you helped me with that like years ago. Like, if you tagged me on something, it doesn't show up on my feed. How do I unblock a tag?
I don't.
So that I can like have that on. So I can put that on my. I don't even know.
I think that's your
profile
friend.
page?
Is that your friend, Rich?
where?
Rich Eckert? Oh no, that's my. No, I know who that is.
The name
That's my
doesn't ring a
friend.
bell, but you know we
That's
have a lot of
Mr.
Facebook
Eckert.
friends.
That's Mr. Eckert.
Oh yeah, Rich. Oh, Rich, how you doing? Good to see you,
What's
bro.
going on?
Remember that one time we did that thing?
That thing.
Oh, that was great.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, Leanne works at a pretty. Okay, we got a call again. Hey Jay, if you're listening, what's the dealio with this phone call? Let's try again. Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hey,
we got
wait,
it.
wait. We might be able to hear you. Are you there? We did hear you.
Yes, you were there.
Where'd you go?
There's a lot of commotion going on over there. You at a party, bro?
I know what's going
He's
on.
partying at like 9 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday.
Hey, except for us apparently.
Right.
If you have whatever on in the background, you're gonna have to turn that down so we can hear you.
She's probably got the show on the background.
Yeah, you're gonna have to mute the show. But we heard you. Where did you go?
Hello?
There you are.
Hey.
Are you there?
Warner, can you hear me?
Warner, what's going on?
Oh no, it's Warner.
I'm still here.
Hey, well, we can hear you. What's going on?
Well, hey,
Hey, Warner. How's it going?
You got to tell us a story, Warner.
I always enjoy the show.
Right on.
Aw, yeah, you are a big supporter. I love you for that. Thank you so much.
That's fine what it is. All right, I turned it off. Hi, Leanne.
Hi. Can you believe she got me up this early? No, just kidding. I'm still in my pajamas.
Oh, man, this ain't working.
What am I doing?
We
with
can
your
hear
phone?
you.
I'm here.
Tagging this so people can
We hear you. Are you not working today? What's going on?
I'm sorry, I messed it up. I'm worse with technology than you. Let me just warn you.
Do what?
Yes.
Where are you? Are you working?
I don't think we're working.
No.
Are you off today?
Always watch it. I listen to your show. You come a long way with the show. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. With the help of you and all the rest of our friends.
And on today.
I don't know how she got me out of bed this early.
I did. I got her up. I said, get up on this show, girl.
I'm telling you, Brandy and her girl, good Lord Jesus.
We do make a party fun, don't we?
What Leanne said, boy. I turn into butter every time I meet them.
Aw, you are so sweet.
But there was a thing you guys were talking about, especially when it comes to friends. When I got married a long time ago, I totally changed and I didn't see it. My friends did, but they were afraid to tell me that I would change so much. And I always said I ended up marrying the devil. But so that's. But it's crazy how you try your best to give your all, and even trying to work it out because it was my first marriage. But it was a tough lesson to learn. And now being in my 55, retired from the military, dating scene is a little bit harder for the older folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
But you know, the good thing is there's a lot more resources now as there used to be. Man, I keep seeing these commercials for what was that one, 55 or over 50 plus, my time or our time or something like that.
Yep.
Man, you know, God forbid anything happen. I'm not saying it ever will. I mean, I'm very happy and hopefully my relationship lasts a long time. But if something did happen, it's nice to know that there are resources like that. You know, when you're out of touch for a long time, you haven't been in the dating scene. You know, we live in a great time.
Absolutely. You know, I was actually, you know, like I'm looking at this one over here, Brandy. We have Bumble date nights.
It's
Brandy
so
and I
bad.
enjoy our Bumble date nights or whatever site we're looking through, and we just go and have a couple drinks and just kind of swipe and compare who's on each other's sites.
Yeah.
And,
Yes,
and
I
whatnot.
know.
And it's more for, it's sad because it's a little bit more for humor, but it's also just kind of when we first started, she was like, no, you got to put a younger dating age range. And I'm like, no, I don't actually want to date anyone that falls under that younger category. So it is nice to be able to kind of have a category that you can go a little bit older and find somebody with a little bit more stability or whatnot or in life and experiences in life.
Yeah.
But also, once we get into that other age zone, it's nice to know that there is a dating site per se that doesn't deal with all of the
Right. It kind of
youth
eliminates.
and
Yes.
you know.
And that's not to say you can't find somebody at a different age that's perfect for you. You just never know. Everybody's different, but overall, you know, like
True, but the hardest thing when you're at a certain age, if you're not at a certain level with some people,
it's maturity.
They sometimes feel that you're a failure. You know, I spent 22 years in the military, served my country, and I
Thank
did a lot
you.
of things that
Thank
I love
you.
in the military. And then when you leave that environment, you're not there anymore. You're in a whole different world. And so some people accomplish getting degrees, starting businesses, and then when you're like, oh, my age, and you're like, okay, I'm almost like starting over. It's kind of weird.
It is starting over, and that's anything in life, you know, like especially, you know, our military that come back, they have to readjust. So it's same thing even with the dating life. Once you've come out of a long-term marriage or a long-term relationship and you're thrown into this shit show that dating is now, it's a whole new life to try and figure out.
Yeah, but like I said, man, there's a lot of
Yeah,
resources.
then you're trying to explain some of the stuff you did, and some stuff you really don't want to tell them about.
Well,
back to
definitely
that
not right
baggage.
off the bat, though.
Going to war and stuff ain't for everybody.
Yeah, that's, you know,
Learn how to keep that stuff there, which is sometimes the toughest thing to do.
yeah.
But
And
then
still
they
keep
ask
your
you-
identity.
They want you to explain what was it like and stuff like that. And sometimes you're not ready. So then they like, oh, I really don't want to meet you. So that date thing, but a lot of times I don't bring that out on the first date.
No, and it's not a good. I mean, it's
You
not a
gotta
bad
get to
thing
the
at some
where you
point.
tell somebody some of the stuff you had to do.
Yeah. It's okay to show your vulnerability, but unfortunately for guys, and I can totally relate to you on this, man, like when you're a dude, it's hard to show that side of you. You know, it's one thing, girls want a guy that's sensitive, but they don't want to see that until they're into the relationship, man. You can't just come out, you know, and start talking about your sensitive side on the
Crying
first
on the
date.
first date. We've all
Right,
been
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It goes back to that baggage. You got to keep that bag packed, unfortunately, and it sucks. And you have to wait a little while. You know, once you're comfortable with the person, that you can start opening up a little bit more.
But here's the sad thing. It wasn't baggage for me. I enjoyed serving my country.
Of course.
I enjoyed going over there and seeing
Right.
what it was like.
Oh, of
And
course.
When I come back here, I kiss the ground like the Pope. I had some crazy stuff going on. But man, go to some of these countries where I had to not talk to women because they could get killed.
Right.
And
It's
seeing
different
the
dynamic.
rights that they don't have
Yeah.
that the women here in America do have.
Right.
I mean, it was amazing. So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I think we touched fully on that aspect of how much you open up and when you open it up. And I think back in the day when sex wasn't on the table, people started friendships and people started relationships based off of a friendship or a connection. You know, my parents dated for 4 years before they got married, and they were virgins when they got married. And, you know, I think that formulates a bond. And I know none of us are waiting 4 years, but but I do think that there's something to be said about, okay, we have a chemistry, we have a connection, and we're going to open up slowly. What's the matter? I was like, we have a connection, we have a chemistry. We're going to open up slowly and open up those things about us that do make us vulnerable or make us who we are. There's nothing wrong with identifying with who we are.
Of course
we
not.
just have to, you know, we have to do that in a
Steps.
strategic way
Steps.
and steps.
Yeah, you should never be afraid of who you are or what you've done. As a matter of fact, a lot of people would be very. I'm sure that you run into this. I'm sorry, is it Warren?
Warner.
Warner, like Warner Brothers.
Got you. You know, if you've ever, you know, most people are very receptive, especially these days, of people's service in the military. They're very appreciative, you know. So I don't think it's a turnoff so much as it used to be. It's just a matter of how slowly you integrate, you know, that part of your life. I don't think you should come right out and say it's just a matter of taking your time and taking the steps. And some people are more receptive than others. It's all about, you know, relationships is about feeling each other out, man. There's no handbook on this.
No.
You just kind of have to, you know, there's a back and forth.
So we have a question because we were kind of talking about this earlier. You had mentioned that your marriage maybe wasn't the best or whatnot, and we don't have to get into that part of it. But we were talking about whether or not to tell your friends that they're dating somebody that is not necessarily the best for them.
Oh yeah.
So that's a tricky subject because.
Told me something.
Yeah, and you know, and after the fact, most people say the exact same thing.
Lock me up.
Yeah.
But do you think you would have listened?
Yeah, would you have listened, Warner, if I would have
wouldn't
said
have.
I'm not a big fan of this person?
Are you serious?
But I've also been in that
I
situation.
think I was doing all my reasoning with another body part of mine.
Oh, there you go. That happens too.
Interesting.
But I mean,
I'll be honest.
sorry, Warren.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, getting back to what you said, Leanne, is do you tell your friends? And here's the thing, man. I personally have a very close friend that's in a relationship now, and I won't tell you the name because they might be listening. That I'm not a very big fan of his girlfriend, and you know, she's a nice girl, but I just think she's taking advantage of him. And even if I were to tell him, he wouldn't listen. You know, and I've been there. I've been with bad girls, and my friends have maybe dropped hints or whatever, and I'm like, whatever. And then the next day, the girl's moved out with all her shit gone. You know, so at the end of the day, you have to be supportive of your friends' relationships. I don't think it's a bad thing to tell them how you feel. But if they end up marrying the person, if they end up staying with them for a long time, you know, you want that friend in your life. You want to be supportive. It's difficult.
I think, you know, I've been on both ends of that. I've been where, to be honest, I have given up a relationship because a few friends kind of pushed the influence on me because I was a little bit, I listened to them a little bit too strongly and kind of actually regret giving that relationship up.
That's the other side of that.
And then I've been on the end where I didn't give the relationship up soon enough, where people were like, oh, what are you thinking?
Right.
So it comes down a little bit to that, whether your friends say, are you genuinely happy? And whether we're complaining about the person we're dating and it's just like the normal complaints, or if we're putting a facade on where the relationship looks great and no one knows, so we're not being truthful on that aspect either. When I was in Australia, I legitimately wasn't happy. And so my real close friends, they just said, we can see that you're not happy. Mm-hmm. Whereas some of the friends who were, and I moved back because I listened to that as a truth and you know, soul searched. But then I've also been in a relationship where I like genuinely, this person actually like made me happy. I felt connected. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what you want in that relationship. You want to have that one-on-one where no one else should be able to penetrate that happiness, where it's not being, you know, destructive to you.
Well, that's it. Destructive. That's a very good point. At the end of the day, if somebody's, you know, dragging you down because of their addictions, if they're dragging you down because they're always negative, you know, if you're just in a relationship and you're pretending to be happy because you have something and someone to connect to, that's a big difference from being happy because that person brings you up and lifts you up. You know, that's a very good point.
I think, you know, I think we have a responsibility as friends to look at who we consider our friends and be like, are you truly happy in this relationship? And then or from an outside perspective, I'm seeing a little destruction happening because I have a friend who definitely was in a destructive relationship, and all of us, no matter who it was telling her, you are not healthy. You're not, like, you can't possibly be happy. And they still have to struggle through that. But I think there's you have to make your peace. You have to say your piece. You have to be able to say it and say, hey.
That's kind of what I'm struggling with right now with my friend. Like, I haven't said anything to him, and I've dropped hints like, you know what she's doing right now? Are you okay with that? And
But
and
and
he's
again,
told
some
me
people
no,
just
I'm not
don't see
okay
it.
with it, like outright. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're not okay with it, like, what are you doing in this relationship? It's hard for especially when something's new, and they're very new together. And the thing is when you're very new, everything is perfect and happy.
Oh
And,
yeah. You have to adjust to other. Your point in a new relationship, you need to adjust to other people's quirks. So sometimes you try and overlook things that you normally wouldn't to think, okay, well maybe
right.
Maybe this isn't such a bad thing.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can
Acceptance.
Yeah, the
accept
sex
it.
is great. Like, I can deal with this.
Right?
That's what it's all about right
the
now.
The sex is great, but that, meth pipe in your mouth, I can overlook it because the sex is good. I don't,
Right.
where do you set that boundary?
Hopefully,
Like,
hopefully a
I
little bit.
got one more question for you guys.
Bring
Okay.
it.
Okay. Well, do you have a friend who has all these amazing people in their lives? How come they don't hook you up?
Oh, don't get me started.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Warner, don't get me started on this. I've tried.
Can I say that? I have somebody who has all these amazing women. I'm not going to mention her name. But
Warner.
I mean, some of the women who hang out with her are phenomenal. I mean, they just make you. Number one, they're strong women. Number two, all of them are gorgeous in their own little way. And
Is this person a good friend of yours? Because I think
but your
also.
friend knows you.
Well, that's what I was
They
gonna
know who
say.
you are, your type and everything. And so they have an influence to say, hey, check him out. Sorry, Mandy.
Check him out.
Yeah, but I think, I get that all the time. I'm curious, like people who know me and know I'm single, and there's not a lot of setups.
That's a good
happening.
question. On a
There's not a lot of
percentage-
setups happening. I don't see people going, "Hey, I've got a friend. You should meet them."
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to get to. Is I was going to ask you, and percentage-wise, how many dates you go on? How many have been that people have set you up or tried to set you up?
And this is the funny part. It's only happened to me twice, and it's happened to me this year.
Okay.
One of them
Success rate?
0.
0.
but one of them we met, and and our friends were like, "Oh, you guys like wine? You drink?" I was like, "I don't know if those are the best
Wine and
reasons to get people
drinking.
together."
Yeah.
Perfect.
But I was like, all right, that kind of works. It's a good starting place. And we met, and I think we really bonded in a different way, and now we're roommates. So and so and he's just absolutely amazing, and we're roommates, and
Okay.
and I we have a good connection.
And
on
he has
that end
friends?
of it. He does have friends.
Ah.
Hey, now there's a thought there. Send it
Right.
out. And then the other was a family friend who was an uncle basically, and he was like, hey, there's a guy out there that lives there, and we want you to meet him, and we think he's great. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And super, super nice guy. I'm Italian, strong personality.
Hey, get out of here,
You know,
Italian.
hey.
Hey, oh, hey.
Me too.
I would have never known that.
Clearly have a little bit of a strong personality. And we were kind of talking about that, like exposure of vulnerability a little too soon.
Right.
So
He's like, what do you mean you don't know how to make sauce? What's wrong with you?
exactly.
Get out of here.
Actually, he did send me a picture that he made eggplant parmesan
Oh, he's
that
trying
night.
to
So
impress you.
I was like,
Oh.
he was actually really nice.
Okay. You weren't attracted
And then
physically
my
to him?
mom's like, well, you can't just go for the bad boys. And I'm like, I feel like I need a balance, though.
Of course, but
Right.
the thing is with that, and especially blind dates, was he physically attractive? Let's be honest.
He wasn't unattractive, but there wasn't
Okay,
like,
there you go. That's all you got to say.
There wasn't that, like, I could totally
Oh, boy.
make out with you look.
Right? Yeah.
Okay,
fair
okay.
enough.
Let me revert to
Well, hey guys, I'm gonna
Sorry.
get off the line so somebody else can have an opportunity.
okay.
You're
What?
I
amazing.
want to say how proud I am of Brandy.
Aw, thanks, Warner.
Start this adventure, and I'm so proud. Please, folks, sponsor her.
I know, damn it. I need some sponsors.
again, great job, Brandy.
Nice talking with you, Warner.
Thanks, Warner.
Thanks, Warner. See you soon. Next
Bye.
barbecue.
So I have a rebuttal or a response to Warner's, because I think this all the time too. I'm like, why the hell aren't my friends hooking me up with a good dude? So I have two sides to this. One is it's a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. And the bad way that I look at it is what's the old saying? Like, you never fish in the same pond you swim in.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you blow it, then you're all going to the same barbecue, and you're like, that's awkward.
yes. So and we've had years ago, we had a guy that did that, and he literally messed with like 3 of the girls in the group, and it really it made it weird for those 3. I don't give a shit because I didn't want nothing to do with them. So it made it weird for those 3. But then you've now ruined the bond that you had with all of us because you didn't try and catch 1, 2, but now you tried for 3 different fish, and you've kind of
maybe you do
jacked
it once removed.
In your case,
Yeah.
Brandy, let me just say, as someone who personally knows you, I know you have a lot of different social circles. So if you were to dip into one of those ponds, you got a lot of ponds. Like, you're out there, man. I mean, between your biker group, between, going out with Leanne doing drinks, between, all your different social groups, I mean, you could just let one pond completely go. You know what I mean? And if you fish want to swim over to one of your other ponds, they can.
I mean, that's
it's
true.
okay.
But I mean, like you said, like 1 removed. Like someone, I mean, you want to hook your friend up with somebody nice and good, but it doesn't have to literally be like, I'm going to hook you 2 up. Because you and I did that once. I hooked
What
you
did we
up.
do?
I hooked you up with the ex's friend. And
yes, you did.
I thought it was going to be a really good match. I did. I really did. And
It made me really second guess the closeness of our friendship.
You're like, Brandy.
I was like,
look.
do you know me?
I just thought and I know, and I kind of look back at it like, what was I
Did he have a new label?
thinking?
Did he label himself Flexible or something?
He actually, I'm not gonna lie, he was super sweet. He was really, really he was a really good guy. I can't even go there because I don't want to be mean. But let's just say she hooked me up with Rocky
Yeah.
Balboa.
Yeah, like he
okay.
got popped in the head a few times.
All right.
And-
I'm picturing an Affliction shirt here.
Yeah, maybe, but
Probably.
I don't know. He was really nice, and I tried, and it was great. But it did create a really awkward scenario once I realized that was
Yo, Brandy, what happened to Leanne? She don't talk to me no more.
pretty much.
That's kind of what it was.
What's going on over here?
And I thought it was going to be, I don't know why. There was
Because
something.
we wanted best friends and best
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Like, it was
And I think
it
that would have
could've
been kind of
great.
cool. Yeah. It didn't. It failed.
It
And I
failed.
tried, I tried to, do it, and it just didn't
I
work.
tried to do it too. It just,
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, and I know exactly where that went. Oh boy! Speaking of fish, and
the things
dead
we do for our
fish.
friends.
I know, right? Wow. Well, and that's where
I
I
was trying
went.
to take one for the team, Brandy. It didn't work out so well.
It wasn't a good thing. So did your friends ever try and hook you up with one of their friends, and how did that go? Elton?
Like I said, I've been out of the dating scene a long time. It's you're recalling some old memories here. Yeah, I mean, it's happened. I don't remember any specifics, honestly. If I come up with a good story, if you want to talk to me about it another time, I'll definitely try to remember.
Do
and
guys
give you a
hook
good
up
Hey, we
story.
got an
guys
hour.
for hookups, or do
Yeah.
guys hook up guys because they think
No.
they want to go on a
I mean,
date, like
it's
they're a
for-
good person?
I'm speaking for
like, I've
myself.
got a good girl. Like, you should meet her.
hey.
Don't
Right.
screw it up. Or do they say, like, I got a girl, I think the two of you might connect?
Yeah,
No.
there's a big difference there.
There's different kinds of guys. Let me tell you the kind of guy I am. I'm Italian. All right, I'm a romantic at heart. I believe in love.
Lucky
I believe,
wife.
Right?
Yeah, yeah, super romantic.
you're lucky.
Flowers, jewels, the whole thing. But besides that, poetry, all that. But when I want to set a friend up, it's because I genuinely think that they'll have a good relationship with that person.
enough.
No, like I'm not saying like, hey, this girl is a great lady, dude. Go hook up with her. You know what I mean? I'm not that guy.
What was that
There's
Eskimo things you were
there's
talking
guys
about?
out there.
I don't think. Ooh.
There are definitely guys out there like that. And being a guy, I hear those stories. You know what I mean? Like, you definitely like hear locker room talk about like, oh man, you're gonna love this girl, blah blah, and you should hook up with her. That being said, I've always not participated in those kind of conversations. I don't get it.
you.
I don't understand it. Don't get me wrong. I've had my fair share of one night stands, but it's always with
Yeah.
the hope that maybe something will develop. You just never know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not into sharing. Like, I don't want to be with somebody that my friend's been with.
Hell yeah.
I don't. Even if
Thanks,
everybody's okay with it, I'm not personally for me. Like here's a good story. So last year we went to Kernville for the camp out. It was a motorcycle camp out. It was fun as shit. There was guys and girls everywhere, and I was like, hey, cool. I'm hooking up with a dude. I don't care. I didn't care. At this point right now, I'm like, I don't care. So one of the girls brought this group of guys over, and they were all younger, and they were there last year. So she had remembered them from last year, and a couple of the other girls I ride with were there the year prior. So they all kind of knew each other. So she found him again and brought him over, and this little hottie, let me tell you, he's a fireman and a Marine and just smoking.
We all know your type.
We all know your type.
Smoking.
You know your type.
Until I got to know him a little bit better, and I realized you're a complete douche bag. So here's why. So we were hanging out, and it was like, oh, hey, come back to my tent. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go hang out.
He wanted to pitch a tent for you?
He could have, trust me, until he
opened his mouth.
He opened his mouth, and that was the end of that. Like, literally. And it wasn't because he was stupid. It's because of what he said. And what he said was he knew one of the girls that I knew, and I guess they had hooked up the year before. So already, boom, done. I'm done with that. I was like, nah.
Don't bring up that
Just trying to be honest.
Yeah, and it's fine. I'm okay with that until
Okay.
he said
Just from a male perspective.
she was horrible in the sack, and I was like,
Oh,
wow,
yeah, okay,
dude,
that's a deal
really?
breaker.
Yeah, I
breaker.
was like, I could just see us hooking up, and they're like, yeah, she sucked in bed. Nope, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I probably would have jokingly just said, well, I've slept with her and thought it was good.
Right.
So it must have been you.
Right? Maybe
No,
it's
I've
your
seen something
dick, I don't
recently.
know.
I've seen a proverb recently where it says, listen carefully to how people talk about other people because that's how they're talking
absolutely.
about you.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, anybody that has that kind of negative, you never kiss and tell, man. Like, that's, come on. Like, what are you, in third grade?
Yeah. Well, and
That's pretty
it
lame.
really, if I wouldn't have known that he hooked up with her, it probably would have been
fine.
You'd have got your
yeah.
Keep it to
'cause
yourself.
I didn't
Groove
know.
on.
I didn't want to know.
And it's also comes back to that unpacking that baggage quickly thing. Like later in the relationship,
Shut up,
like, because
dude.
look, my wife has been like a little bit, and she doesn't outwardly say, but she's been jealous of some of the girls because there's still a couple of girls that I kind of hooked up with that are kind of friends in my life and show up in social circles. And she's like, well, what, she asked me about them and stuff, and like, oh, was it good or whatever? And
Was it
it's-
good? She wants to know.
well,
I wouldn't want to know.
I don't think it
I'd want to know that
specifically
you
was
hooked up
that.
because if you're putting me face to face with somebody that you've hooked up with, that's always been just kind of a rule. Like if we're in a
Yeah, I
serious
wouldn't outwardly
relationship,
start talking
don't
about
make
my
me have dinner
sexual.
with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't outwardly start bringing up my old relationships and sexual relationships.
Yeah.
But if it comes up in the natural course of the conversation after we've been together a long time, then I'll let her know. Look, it was whatever it was, and I'll tell her why the relationship failed and why it's not failing with us is because of this. Like.
But then that goes to
Ooh,
it.
You
look
gotta
at you.
reinforce.
See, ooh,
You have to
right.
reinforce.
Thought about
So
this.
real.
Let me
I love
Yeah,
that.
I always make her
Smart man. Men
always
listen
make
to
sure that
that.
she knows that she is the one and she's the cream of the crop. She's the reason.
Oh.
You always
Right?
have to
Or,
reinforce that. And it's throwing out the negatives thing that these guys do these days. I never understood that.
But that's also the trust issue that comes in. Communication, trust, and sex, I think, are the big three things in a relationship. They have to be good. So if you have hooked up with somebody that some people still stay friends with them and they're legit friends and there's nothing else and it'll never happen again. If you're with a new person, you definitely have to make that person feel secure and like, look, it was past, there's nothing there, and then you're okay with it. You know what I mean? Like it's that trust and communication thing.
Well, yeah, if you wanted to be there, you'd be there still. So
Right. And then obviously it didn't work for a reason. But there are people that do come snaking back in
Yeah.
and they'll come like, flirting.
this is
and
the best when you finally start to kind of go, okay, I kind of like this guy. I see there's something going on. The woodworks. What is there just this energy that ripples out that says I might be off the market, and then everyone from your past starts calling?
See,
I have this
that
like they
hasn't
come
happened to me.
back.
Let me tell you something
they
about
keep
guys.
coming back. It's like
I
they
got a
know they
couple
can
girls that's
smell it in
happened
the
to.
air.
Let me tell
that
you
it's
something
like,
about guys, man. I've been there. There's always this one girl that's perfect, or you've always had a crush on, but she's been in a relationship. And as guys, you can't start saying, "Look, I like you," when you're in a relationship with another girl. It's just unheard of. But guys know, like, you don't want to be like, you don't want to miss out. I've had this happen. There was a girl I had a crush on, and she was a cocktail waitress, and everybody loved her, and she was so perfect. She was a nice girl. The dude she was with was not so nice. I'll just say
so
he was.
nice.
I'm not gonna say he was a douche, but he was a douche. And so they broke up, and so all of a sudden it was like all these dudes are like, oh wow, she's a great girl, and so she started getting all these invitations, and she ended up hooking up with like this first guy and getting married. You know what I mean? The first one that was in on it, and I was late to the party, man. I was late to the party. I mean, who knows what would have happened? But at the end of the day, man, like as a dude, if you see somebody that you like and they're suddenly single, it's like, you're going
missed
fishing.
out. Sorry.
You're going
Okay,
fishing. and
totally
there's a-
get that, but I'm talking about the opposite. Like you have all this opportunity. I have been single a long time, way too long. And then as soon as I start to like somebody, then I get all of the ones
Really?
that are like, oh wait, no wait.
Oh, hey, wait.
It could be
Hey,
some
what
of
are
these
you
guys that are
doing?
trying to give you freedom or wide berth. I mean, maybe that has something to do with it because there's a very
Wide berth. What is that?
space.
Fair enough.
No, as guys,
Wide berth.
Random reference.
as dudes, we are drilled into our head. Don't be overbearing. Don't be a stalker. Don't be, you know what I mean? So you got to be really careful. It's a fine line of, how long do I wait?
I'm with you on that, but then we were just kind of saying like this whole dating thing where people are just like ghosting you all of the time. So it's almost like that's reversing. Like I know for me, if you aren't persistent, I don't think you care.
Right.
And I mean by persistent, like you actually are picking up the phone.
Like I said, it's a fine
and
line. So most girls are like, why are you
Or
being too clingy? You know what I
texting.
mean? Like we get that a lot as dudes. We get that too much. Why are you being too clingy? You know what I mean? Why? I'm just trying to text you because I like you. Like
Oh, I would love to hear that.
Right.
it's hard, man. It's a
Just
fine
like,
line.
Hey, I
and we're-
actually like you.
more girls reinforce the clingy thing than girls that are receptive to, and it just comes down to who likes you and who doesn't. That's really what it is.
I know you're not in the dating scene right now, but the curiosity went on a great date actually the other night. Super nice.
Is this the one you told me about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Super nice guy. Like we were texting back and forth, had great chemistry. Didn't send inappropriate pictures, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Met for a non-drink night. Glass of water and a club soda. And, it was great. Met me after I got off work. So took the time because I get off a little bit later, took the time to come and meet up and hang out. Super great conversation. Really nice. Didn't hear from him for hug goodbye. Can't wait to talk to you. Look forward to doing this again.
Shit's
Couple
annoying.
texts that night, which I love. By the way, men, do not forget to text. Hope you made it home safely.
Yes.
It is huge in
Yeah.
our world. Like huge in
Yeah,
our
it is.
world.
It is big,
It's
guys.
true.
If you're
and-
listening, men,
Yes.
do it.
So sent that, felt great. But then didn't hear from him for like a couple days. And I was like,
Yeah, that's the obligatory. You have to wait. That's what's drilled inside of us.
So it still is the thing. Like wait a few days before you like go in for the
God,
like.
you
how
don't
did
want to
it.
appear.
tough.
You
I
don't want
don't
to appear
know.
overzealous, but you still want them to know it's hard, man. It's a tough balance for dudes, man. We have it tougher than you think, we do, man. Like, because you don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, why are you still, you're texting me too much. You don't want to push her away. If you really like somebody, there's that fear of pushing her away.
I see, and we've talked about it before on the show, like the
Yeah,
good
I
morning
remember, yeah.
text.
Yeah.
I love
I love-
the good
yeah.
morning text.
Right.
Okay.
And some people are like,
No, I love
don't get a good morning.
I love the good morning.
And I'm like,
text.
no, I love good morning. I had one today from a guy. Good morning.
Okay, so if you send them good morning and they say morning,
It's that
Look.
I have done that, and I'm like,
it's a song. It's
yeah.
a country song.
Don't-
if you
yeah.
put the I in front of I miss you or I
love you.
Don't
Or-
read too much
yeah.
into guys' fear of
they're just-
elaborating because we're
Fair
like I like to include myself. I think I have a wide vocabulary. I like to think that I'm well spoken, but men in general, not so much. We're dudes of few words. You know what I mean? Like basically speaking, like
but
morning is a
why
good thing.
Is that?
So just the fact that I got the morning was like bonus.
Yeah, straight
Okay.
to the point. I guess. I think
how
that's
many
what it
days
is.
later?
2 days later.
That's not bad. I don't know. I feel like I like I went out on a date and the next morning, good morning,
Yeah.
and then if I don't get it the next day, I'm really sad.
Well, I just
Like,
like okay,
I'm
then there wasn't a
sad.
connection.
But what
and
if it's
that's
like the
fine.
day after or the day after? Is that? I mean, because there is that. Like I said, there's a
I
fine
mean, I wouldn't
line.
mind if it's a day or two later.
Yeah.
But it's night that.
Don't
next
read too much into
morning.
that stuff, though, man. It's
Yeah.
about chemistry
Oh, that's
and how
part
you
of
are.
my.
in
That's huge.
I
at
just think
me.
like
that's huge.
if you have the chemistry on the date and then you say at the end of the date like, "Wow, there was really nice chemistry here,"
Yeah.
then I think you have the free reign to keep that communication going and that chemistry going. And when it doesn't happen, you kind of go, "Okay, well maybe I misread that, and so I
Yeah.
should just back off."
Right.
And then all of a sudden, 3 or so days later, they come back in like, "Hey," and you're like,
Yeah.
oh really?"
So we
Okay.
got guys and girls listening. You guys call in. I'm curious
Let's
to
hear your views.
What's your thought on the good morning text? I've heard it so many different ways from girls and guys sending it. So somebody call us 702-832-0364. What's your thoughts on that good morning text? I've heard women can't stand it. I absolutely love it. Guys maybe feel they shouldn't send it till 3 days later. I don't know. Somebody freaking call in and tell us your thoughts on this.
I like the good morning text. I just like more substance to it too. I don't want the, okay, we're starting this
Morning,
new...
have a great day at work, something like that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's, you know, just a little bit more that actually makes it personable. And not just good morning, not just good night, but a little bit something.
I've always been on the opposite end of that spectrum. I always open up too much. I'm always the guy who's like, good morning. Hey, how's your day going? What did you have for breakfast? You know, like, and that's...
Did you have a bowel movement this morning?
And from personal experience, Leanne, let me tell you, I've pushed more girls away that way than brought them in. You
Really?
know?
But maybe the wrong girls. If that's how you are and that's how you want to be, then shouldn't you stay true to who
I
you
agree,
are
because
in
I did
general?
eventually find the right one by being myself.
Yeah.
I agree.
And that's something I've been having a really hard time with, because I feel like being myself, I feel like I'm pushing guys away. I almost feel like I need to be like weak and sappy and like
maybe just a little
needy.
less aggressive.
Jody loves the good morning text.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I almost, and I know I'm gonna hear no, you don't, but I feel like I almost need to change myself a bit, because I might be too aggressive.
Yeah,
but then that's me.
I'm one of your besties, and I would say rein it in a little.
I would love.
I don't know how.
I would love to hear from my friend Kat, man. She is just Kat. Can you call in?
Cat's
Hi.
got a hi.
She's one of my Jeeping buddies. You're a single girl. We'd like to hear from you.
Cat's not single.
She's not?
Kat, you're not single. I think you got I always see her in pictures with a dude.
Oh, okay. Maybe you know her well.
I mean, I don't. That's your man, right? I think. I always see her with some good-looking bearded guy all the time. If he's not your friend like that, he should be.
But in any case, we like to hear from people with different relationships.
We're waiting for you guys to call.
The good morning text. Let's hear about it.
What's that good morning text? Guys, do you send them? Girls, how do you feel about them? Somebody call 702-832-0364.
Yeah, but I've definitely pushed away.
Oh, she's at work.
Yeah, fair enough.
She can't call. How do you feel?
Definitely pushed more girls away by over communicating than I have. And like I said, for me, it's been a balance of trying to back off more and trying not to be over zealous. Because I always got too, 18 years. Holy cow.
Yeah, see? She's not married, but been with the same guy 18 years.
Awesome.
18 years.
I just was like, had really good banter with someone, which I've now decided on the dating sites. It's like, we can talk a couple days, and if we're not setting up a meetup, I'm done. Because I just don't have time or energy for this.
Yeah.
But, this other person was like, great banter. Okay, let's get together on Sunday. It was my only day off, which, by the way, that's a huge commitment too. Like, I get one day off a week sometimes, and if I'm choosing to spend it with someone that I have never met for a couple hours, that's like a pretty big deal. Like, I'm choosing you. That's
right.
Great. So, but this person threw out there, awesome, can't wait to meet up on Sunday. We had talked about going to, I'd said Hank's, and then we had talked about going to, I guess, T-Bone's, which is on the other side of town. So now on my day off, I'm driving all the way to the other side of town. Great, sounds good. And then I got a text saying, well, I really want to watch the football game, so how about barbecuing at my house? I've never met you.
Dina.
Right, you want to be around a bunch of your friends and dudes, and that's...
No, like...
So
I just clicked off. I just was like...
already he's showing that football and his friends are more of a priority than you.
Yes.
And it's just the first date.
I was like, this is my
Big
only day
red
off,
flag.
and I'm driving across town.
Big red flag.
Yeah, I was done.
Yeah.
I was done. But, so...
Yeah, you have to put the lady first, especially early in the relationship when she wants to be loved and held and told she's beautiful. Make sure that you put her first.
Guys don't want that. They just want in your pants.
That's not
Well, they
necessarily
can get
true.
in there if they're nicer.
If they're right, if you're a nice guy, you send me that morning text. Boom.
Nice,
I have a good.
The booty.
I have a good
Good
analogy
morning.
for
Here's
this.
booty.
Okay.
I work at the airport, and there's just been this thing with TSA where they'd stopped letting employees cut the line, and so now instead of waiting in line, like employees will go up and try to get through TSA quicker, but sometimes they'll tell you go to the back of the line. So the way I look at it is you go up there, and if you're polite and if you're nice and you smile and you make eye contact with them, say, hey, instead of pushing the other passengers' bags out of the way and you wait for the TSA to say it's okay, then you politely put your bag on the thing and you can get through quicker.
Yes.
You will get to your goals quicker if you're smile, if you're polite, if you're nice.
Absolutely.
Do you remember my saying on that? You catch more flies with honey.
Honey than you can with vinegar.
Yes, I
is-
say it all, and I
it's
try
a
to live
really-
by that all the time.
Is it vinegar or is it with an A at the end? Vinegar.
Oh, Jesus.
What accents are we using?
Right.
More flies with honey than vinegar, please.
Yeah, I just leave it at honey. You catch more flies with honey, and I truly believe that. I really do, because I watch people come to me at work screaming at me like boom right off the bat for something that's not even my fault. So if you come at me properly and ask, and I'm going to help you. Otherwise, I'm going to
Right.
be a biatch because you just yelled at me instead of
yeah,
"Hey,
and we
I
deal in
have this
customer
problem."
service.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You always have the people that are aggressive that come up to the bar and they're
Yeah.
like,
I
if you're an
love
asshole
winning
right
them
off the
over.
bat, then that's exactly it, dude. Somebody gets mad at you, and I just smile.
I do.
And
It's
I
so
know they're not
great.
tipping me, and I don't care.
Yep.
I just kill them with kindness.
Yep.
I just kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
A lot of people live by that too. Kill them with kindness, because all of us that work in the service industry, there are so many assholes anymore.
Right.
Oh,
It's
Well, here's the thing.
ridiculous.
I had a lady the other day goes, I would like French fries, and I'm sure you can figure this out, but could you please bring ketchup? I was like, oh, absolutely.
Good thing you told me. You know.
Wow.
I totally was going to bring you mustard. Yes.
Right. And the thing is, like, if other people at the bar see you handling the guests that way,
Yes.
they're more likely to take care of you
Right.
and be nicer to you. You
Oh,
know what I
it's
mean?
definitely a
I
ripple
love
effect.
when I have a bad apple at the bar, and I have.
Oh, and everyone else goes, God, you handled that really well.
Yes.
I know.
Oh, it's
I was
great.
waiting for you to punch him. I was
Yeah.
good.
Right. I
Right,
can't
right.
hit them, but can you please hit them? Yep.
And then there's other times I lost my shit, and they're like, "Oh, I don't blame you one bit."
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, we have a
You went
caller.
off on that guy.
I recognize this phone number.
Is it your dad?
Hello, caller.
Oh, you should recognize it.
Oh, it is It is Dad. Everyone, Dad is on the phone. He has both of his daughters right here. He has sucked up Leanne as his other daughter, so this ought to be good. I can't wait. Go ahead, Dad. What you got?
I was here. Okay, listen, I was hearing Leanne about this date across town or whatever, have to drive across town and things of that nature. Never, ever go to the guy new. He either comes to you or he isn't worth it. End of
Yes, I love it. I
Wow,
love
and that's
it.
coming from a man. That is a man's thought process.
I'll tell
It's not
it's a
untrue.
fact. Why would you go there when he's trying to hook up with you? That doesn't even make sense. He meets you on your
That's chivalry, Pop.
That
That's the thing.
is.
You're right
It's
about
what
that.
we're looking for. It's
Yeah,
definitely
you
what
want
we're
the
looking
guy to
for.
show some initiative, And
That's why I'm going for older men now. No,
I'm a firm believer in those
Sounds like
traditional
it works.
roles. The guy should show up. He should pick the girl up. He should open the door. He should pull
Yeah.
the chair out.
I love
I'm with
that.
you on that. It's sometimes somewhere along the way it's gotten lost.
because
Well,
so many men
well,
call them
it
wusses.
has, but, so I'm just giving a little advice that under no circumstances would you ever do that, ever.
Fair enough.
That's good
I
advice.
didn't, so
No
good
way.
job.
It's good advice.
Usually, if anything, I would maybe
Well, you
meet in the
were
middle.
going- Well, wait a minute.
If you're meeting in a neutral
He's
spot,
yelling at
right?
me.
Hey, it comes back to meeting in a neutral spot. You know,
Yeah.
he lives on one side of town, you live at the other. Meet in the middle.
Meet in the middle.
If you're both driving and meeting neutrally. But it is dangerous these days to
I
get in
mean,
a car with a stranger.
I don't even believe it. I don't even believe in meeting in the middle. He's that interested, he comes to you.
Oh, this is
Wow,
why.
guys, what
This
do you
is why
think
you're
about
so
that?
amazing.
Middle.
That's why you're so amazing.
If I was interested, which back when I was kind of, well, but there's no way that I would go and pursue and meet on her turf.
Yeah.
If I wanted to know who she was and meet her, I'm not asking her to come to my turf. Maybe, later,
Yeah.
but
Fair
not
enough.
right away. No way.
So you hear that, Leanne? Don't compromise.
Next time.
No matter
No
what.
compromising.
And well, now Leanne said she was thinking about it until they talked football. Well, she
No,
didn't think
you know
about it.
I
She
like-
wanted
you-
to meet you come to your site.
You know I like football. It had
Well,
nothing to
yeah.
do with the football thing. It
Right.
had to do with him inviting me to his house, and I had
Right.
never met him.
Yeah, I won't go to a guy's house on the
Like-
first date.
How did you think that was okay?
Well, anyways,
Right.
I had to bring my 2 cents in on let them come to you.
I
Yeah,
know
that's a good
Rabbit.
point.
I love
He's a
it.
rabbit.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah. Good point. If they're interested, yeah.
Men need to write it down.
Men need to write it down.
I'd like to get
true.
back what a cat
'Cause
said over here.
Women like it. Hold on.
Yep. Nope.
He's
good
a
advice.
rabbit, and you're good.
Yeah, I think that's great advice.
I think also I think that's a really good point and something that you said over here. I think men need to realize that they can be chivalrous.
Yeah.
They can be men. Like, and part of the man role is to take that initiative and say,
Right.
I'm coming to you. I'm going to
And if he doesn't do that on
court
the
you.
first
I guess
date,
it's courting. Is the
Courting,
great-
but
like,
people don't court
it's
anymore.
like the Bronx
No.
Tale, man. If she don't lift up that lock for you,
I
forget
do
it.
that,
Dump her.
right?
I
You
don't-
know,
I
you're
never
seeing the
saw
tip of the
Bronx Tale.
iceberg. If a guy's not going to pick you up, he's not going to pull a chair out for you. If he's not going to put the food on your plate,
Yes.
you're just, you know, what is he say? What is that saying about how he feels about, you know, relationships? Does he
Like
want
it.
you to take care of him, or is he planning on taking care of
I'm
you?
going to let you guys go.
Thanks for the call.
Thanks for calling,
you.
That's
Dad.
my 2 cents.
Good point.
Good
Good point.
advice.
It's very good advice.
Stay out of trouble.
No.
No,
To the 2 of you, stay out of trouble
Never.
to the best of your ability.
that's good. He throws that in to the best of our ability. Yes, we will do our best.
I'm not expecting
All right.
much.
Bye-bye.
Love you, Dad. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
I mean, he's got a good point, but the problem is with the only thing with that is, and my argument is, chivalry is dead. Nobody courts, and the Me Too movement has made our men weak.
Oh, you are so skeptical, man. Like you
See,
just been
I'm not.
burned too
I
many
can't.
times.
I
think
can't
so.
jump onto that one. I can't jump onto that bandwagon.
with you, yeah.
That Brandy.
It's not
That's where I
true.
tell you to rein some of that back in, because I don't think it's dead. I think it's being hampered. And I think that we're not, again, going way back to the negativity comments, we're not emphasizing the positive things that people are doing enough so that we can see examples of when it is happening. We're not saying, oh, I went on a great date and that guy gave me a hug goodbye, didn't even go in for it. That was awesome. And said, you know, it takes 2. That was really awesome. Like, we're not emphasizing the positive things that are still happening as chivalry. My door was opened that
Yeah.
night. He wanted to buy my club soda, whatever. He wanted to buy my drink.
Right. That's a big
And,
thing too, man. You know, sometimes guys will spend money on dates when we don't have it.
Right.
You know,
And-
just buying a drink is a big effort, man. It really
And-
is. Especially
and-
nowadays when drinks are like $15. You know?
Yeah,
like,
ridiculous.
I don't think it's dead. I do think that there is too much emphasis on the negativity of what people are doing instead of just saying, yeah, I actually did have a great date. We didn't have chemistry, but blah, blah, blah. Or, so I don't think it's dead. I just don't think we emphasize it enough.
Yeah, maybe you're just not looking at the little things as much as you should.
I don't know. I had a really good date the other night. I went out with this. This is great. This is really entertaining. So I went out on a date. This was my second date with the guy. The first date, I had literally got off of work and he's like calling me. He's like, "Come on, come meet me out." I'm like, "No, dude. I'm in bed. I'm literally." He's like, "Come on, meet me out. Meet me out." He's like, "I will come to you." Now he lives in Summerlin. He said, "I will come to you," and you know I'm in Green Valley. He's like, "I will come to you." So he come. I'm like, "Fine. If you're willing to come up to me, all right. I'm gonna get out of bed." So we go. We meet at the bar. Nice guy. He's totally not what I would normally go out with, which was fine. I had nothing against that. I want to try and date different people. You know, I'm not setting an age range. I'm not setting. You know, there's. Holy Christ, that was loud. So, second
my phone.
date.
Put your toys away.
Right?
Sorry.
Super nice guy. He sends the sweetest texts all the time, like, "You're amazing woman. I adore you. You're, you know," just these great texts. And it's really nice to hear from him. So second date we go on. He's like, I want to make you dinner. We talk about dinner. I'm like, okay. So I go to his house. He knows I'm like this Baby Yoda fan. I love Baby Yoda.
geez.
So he bought me roses, cooked me dinner.
Wow.
He asked me what kind of wine I liked, and I told him Red Zin. He bought 3 bottles of Red
Make
Zin.
sure you got the right one.
Right. Now, mind you, he put them in the fridge, and I didn't have the heart to tell them that Zin does not go in the fridge, but
Sometimes it needs to be chilled.
it was super sweet. And I noticed, like, he had this little, like,
Roofie?
sticker.
No, I'm
No, this little, you know, little sticky notes, and he had, like, his list of things to do, and on that, it said Baby Yoda. So he was trying to
taking
find
notes.
me, yes,
Wow.
Baby
Okay.
Yoda stuff. So I was like, wow, this
That's
guy
a lot of
is-
effort.
That is
Yes,
a lot of
yes.
effort.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So we text here and there, and this is where the whole texting shit comes into play, and it can get so misconstrued it drives me insane.
That's why I hate it.
Yes. So we went to lunch again. Now I was talking about some soup that I like, and he has a daughter, and she's older, and he's like, "Oh my God, you guys have so much in common. We will love each other. You know, you have so much in common." Blah blah. So we were gonna go eat fideo soup because I had this craving for fideo, and his daughter loves fideo. So he's like, I said, "I'm gonna have it, you know, delivered to work," and he's like, no. He's like, let's all go to lunch tomorrow, which was my day off. I'm like, okay. I said, where do you want to go? Because Lindo has great fideo soup. So, but there's 3 in town, 1 by me, 1 by him, and 1 on the east side. Nothing in the middle. There was nothing in the middle. He's like, I will come to you. We'll come to you. And I'm like, okay, great. So we get up in the morning. He texts me, and he's like, look, she's not feeling good. Can we do sushi? Like, they love doing sushi. I'm like, okay, where do you want to do sushi? Can we do it at my place, which is now we're back to his side of town. I'm like, fine.
Yeah, his daughter's being complicated.
I
right?
will. No, it wasn't a big deal to me. I was like, all right, I'll come over there, ate sushi, hung out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then we start texting again, and something happened. I can't remember the full, but the textings got misconstrued, and it literally went like crashed and burned. Like, it was ridiculous. And then I had one of the guys at work read the text, and he's like, Brandy, I think you kind of misread him. I don't think this is what he meant. And then I sat back on it. I'm like, God damn it, I really messed that up. So I sat on this. Like,
Pick up the phone and call.
Well, this was the argument. Like, the text messaging went awry, and I said, if you want to talk about this, call me tomorrow, because it was late, and I knew he was probably in bed. So call me tomorrow. What does he do? He texts me, which pissed me off. I'm like, I wanted to talk to you because the problem was the texting.
Well,
And
maybe
pick up
he
the
was texting to make sure that you were available to call.
Right.
Again, and this is where it was my fault. So things went awry. It went
Repeat that,
downhill.
Brandy. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I accept the fact that I did it. But it weighed on me for like 2 weeks. It bothered me because normally I'm like, I don't give a shit. Bye. I don't care. Dime a
This
dozen.
guy put a lot of effort in.
Yeah.
He did. And when I went to his house and to cook me dinner, he opened the door, and the smile on his face
It's genuine.
to see me
That's awesome.
made me feel great. I'm like, oh my God, this guy actually is happy to see me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I knew I kind of screwed something up. So I literally was like, look, I texted him like 2 weeks later. I'd sat on. I'm like, can I come talk to you? Can we talk? Can we please talk? We went back and forth. So I went to his house last night to talk to him, and it didn't go the way I wanted it. And it got heated for a minute. And I was like, look, you're not a good talker. You don't want to. And he just like, don't tell me why. And like, he got angry about this. And I'm like, but I'm telling you, I wanted you to call me, and you text me, which is where you come in going, maybe he wanted to see if you were available. And he, so we talked last night. I don't think it's going to go anywhere from here, but the whole texting, and it upset me because he's not what I would normally date.
Right.
And I really wanted to try
went out
it.
on a limb.
He did. And it just kind of, I think it's done. But we text this morning, so I don't know.
I think it gets a little more frustrating too when you feel like you've put an effort into an area that you're like, okay, this guy put a huge effort into it, and then you were kind of stepping outside of your box, and then you saw, well, okay, wow, there's something kind of unique here, and then you feel like, hey, maybe I was misunderstood, and then they don't give you the opportunity to regroup or correct it. It just kind of gets shut down, and that's where I get a little bit frustrated with the quickness of see you later, bye-bye. And it's like, well, we're going to go through growing pains. We're going to go through a frustration and an argument. I dealt with that when I was in Arizona. I got into it with the person I had been dating for a few months, and it was the first time we kind of had any kind of miscommunication. This person was great. Like, it was the first time I even considered calling somebody a boyfriend in a really long time. And one of my biggest things is communication, and another big thing to me is kindness. And if you don't come at it with kindness, I'm done. Like, because
Right, there's a way to
that's
communicate.
Just,
like, if he
that's
was offended
just-
by something you said, he should not have yelled. He should have been like, well, okay, maybe that's a point, but I don't agree with you. You know what I mean? There's a way to communicate.
And that's what I said.
If
I said,
your
because you
immediate
think one
reaction
way-
is to start getting angry and raising your
there's
voice.
so much more there, and yet I just feel like you've got to go, okay. And you've probably had arguments with people. You've had arguments with people, and it's just like, okay, we're gonna go to our neutral corners, and
Yeah.
we're gonna come back, and we're
Yeah.
gonna be like, we're gonna chalk it off to a bad night. We're gonna try to talk about it, or we're gonna just shelf it and
Right.
then move forward. Whereas, like when I was with this person in Arizona, like. It was so bad.
Didn't wanna let
I
it go.
don't like. I had to I got up in the morning, tried to make it like, should we talk about this? And ended up getting my own Uber and taking myself to the airport. And then didn't hear from him for 3.5 weeks. So, and now he's trying to like work his way
3.5
back.
weeks?
He's trying to work his
That's
way back in,
ridiculous.
and I'm like, yeah, we're done.
That's the point where you say bye-bye.
But,
Yeah.
but had it just been hey, it was a rough night, blah blah blah.
Right.
Then there
You
would
could
have been
smooth
an
things over.
opportunity to smooth it over and regroup.
Yeah.
But if you're not seeing kindness and you're not seeing a reaction that
Tip of the
allows
iceberg.
you to like be human, I mean, we
Right.
all screw up. Like it inevitable.
If somebody's not taking any kind of accountability in an argument, like it has to do with that compromise thing, man. You have to take some accountability. Even if you think your point is still completely valid, you have to understand where your partner's coming from. You have to listen
and give some leeway. Like I think that's the biggest part. And one of the things, like where we're saying like don't change who you are, but rein in a little bit of that acceptance and that leeway that you give to another human being, because especially at our age, we are set in our ways.
Yep.
It's true.
We have our homes, we have
Right.
our homes, we have our lives, we have our routines. Well, we're going to ask somebody, we're wanting to be in a relationship, we're going to ask somebody to integrate that with us. We have got to be just as flexible too, but I don't know. It's definitely not an easy thing. I look at my house and I'm like, ooh, could I really let someone move in? Could I really move in?
I want to get back to that guy
tough.
taking notes on you though,
let's
because while he's showing initiative and that's really cute. Maybe he has a lot of girls and he's just trying to keep track of all the notes. Maybe he's trying to just keep
She's
track.
Yoda girl.
Right.
I don't think so, because you know what? The thing I said about
He's
him.
got a little black book.
He's like, let me take some notes. No, he was really adamant about trying to find me some Baby Yoda stuff. He's like, I researched everywhere. There's no Baby Yodas anywhere. He's like, I tried and I looked and I thought it was just super sweet. But he's very, and this is not a bad thing because I even told him this last night. He's very wrapped in his daughter. Now wait, not a bad thing. She's 16, okay?
Anytime a parent is dating, you have to compete with the
Right.
kid. That's
You
their
have to
priority.
compete for sure,
Yes.
but you don't have to. There still should be someone with balance and priorities, and if they should choose
I don't know. I
themselves.
don't have children. I can't
you
say.
should choose yourself, and if you're not wanting to be single, you want to be in a relationship, then you've got to find a balance, a natural balance that says, I'm going to choose me and being in a relationship, and I'm going to choose my child. I just segue in? Sorry, just segue one little thing. Men, get your children out of the pictures on your dating sites.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
Oh really? Is that a turnoff?
We will
I don't like
immediately
it.
swipe not because you have kids. Love that you have kids. Love that you love your kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you have your children exposed on a dating site, we will not swipe.
Yeah, just post in
I
your
think
profile.
guys probably
I have
think like it
kids.
makes it look better for them. Like I'm a
No.
family guy. Like look at me.
No, I
Leave
don't
your
like it.
children who have no choice in the matter
Right.
and are now exposed on a dating
Interesting.
site off of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
I love it when a guy has their child like in their arms and scratches the face off.
Oh,
I'm like
what?
down with that. Because you're not exposing your child to being
I
on this
see.
dating site.
Oh, that's a
you're
good
not
point.
even-
Like because of like
our
predators
future
and
is going to be
stuff.
about facial recognition. And so
right.
when your child is now
out there.
23 and getting a job, there's going to be some technology that their interviewer is going to be like facial recognition. Where are they on what's their web presence?
Yeah.
And it's going to be like not their fault, but they're going to be on every dating site.
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, absolutely. And I told him, I'm like, look, trust me, from what I came from to what you are doing with your daughter, I love it. I love that you're a part of your daughter's life. I think it's amazing. For me, I felt it was just a little much because I guess her mother and her don't have a very good relationship.
16, that's what
Yeah. But he's like, I feel like I need to compensate for her mother's side. And I said, okay, well, how about taking that extra bit that you're giving from mom's side and give it to someone that wants to be in your life? I said, you're already a good dad. You're already taking your daughter, and I think that's great. I said, but take that extra bit that you feel like you need to give to her, give it to somebody that wants to be in your life. You know what I mean? And it's not a bad thing. I'm not taking, he's a great dad. I'm so not taking that from him.
Right.
But, and he's like, my daughter's going to have this and she's going to have that. She's going to, when she graduates from college, she's going to hit the ground running, no debt. And I'm like, that's great. Not everybody can do that.
Wouldn't it be great to have someone to help you with that?
Right. Just
Wouldn't
a
it be,
little,
you know?
a partner,
Yeah.
to give
And-
a little positive influence.
And he, and it's tough for me because I have been single now 2.5 years, and I have the freedom to just go do what I want. And I plan shit. I like to plan shit in advance. So like if I've
don't
already
say.
got plans,
No.
it's tough. Yes, so you guys know this. So it's tough for me. Like, oh hey, what are you doing tomorrow night? I've got plans already. Like these plans I probably, and some
you're
of them
not
I
the
can
typical
break.
Vegas spontaneous.
You're not a spontaneous
spontaneous person.
I can be though. I can. But the thing is, if I'm already doing something fun that I want to do, and I'm with my friends, then I'm gonna do it. But I can also look, hey guys, I got a date. I'm gonna go out on a date, and I can break it. Not a big deal. But if it's just me and one person, like one of my girlfriends, I'm not gonna bail on you for some random dude. It's not gonna happen.
that's true.
What is it? Chicks before dicks? Yeah, for sure. I know bros before hoes, chicks before dicks. You know, it's just the thing. But
unless it's really good. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
which then your friends will understand.
if you're basing your social life on nursery rhymes, there's a problem. Okay, like, I'm just throwing that out there.
Man, shut up. Shut your mouth. You don't have to worry about this shit anymore.
Eat the apple. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but it's the same thing. Like people come to the bar and go, liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Whoa. If you're basing your drinking habits on nursery rhymes, like trust me, like
But it's true. I've always
listen to
lived
your
by
body.
that. Beer before liquor, never sicker. I think about that. I'm like, what am I drinking tonight?
Yeah,
What
everybody's
am I drinking tonight?
everybody's different. We're totally off topic now. Glad I could
Good.
help.
I like it.
Well, yeah, but you're lucky enough that you don't have to go through this. You don't.
Lucky, but no, but I have been through it though. And the
Yeah.
thing is, man, probably more than a lot of people. Like I can't even count how many dates, how many short-term relationships. The longest relationship I had before I met my wife was when I was 21 and I was a year and a half. Okay. And
Really?
then after that,
Wow.
the longest one was like maybe 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, and I had a lot of struggles, man. I mean, a lot of struggles of, you know, like I said, sometimes, the girl would break up with me. Sometimes I would break up with her. And, as I got older, I got more picky, and I started to realize more what I wanted. And, I started growing in a different direction. And it was very difficult. It took me a long time to get to where I'm at. And, I never expected the one person that I would fall in love with was my best friend. You know what I mean? I never expected that.
See, and that's why I want, like, the relationship I had before my husband was 4.5 years. And we started as friends. Like, I would have never looked at him at a bar and went,
Right.
I'm hitting on that dude.
Yeah.
Like, we started out as friends, and then it blossomed into 4.5 years. And my ex started as my friend, and it blossomed into what it was. I really thought I felt
Do things
my
that
soulmate,
you like
but
to do.
yeah,
Do-
well, we
be
did
in-
everything together.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it.
You
We
be
rode,
in your
we
life.
ate, we traveled, we watched sports. I mean, I
Right.
thought I had the package, but when you're out of it and you look back, you're like, no, the package was missing a lot of good shit.
Yeah.
Sadly, and it's just what it is. You
Well,
learn.
Okay, so there's a couple things. Like you can do the friends with benefits thing. Like you've got the friends with benefits person that
Someone always gets attached. That's a problem.
yeah.
Somebody always
and
gets their
the
heart
craziest
broken.
part is that back in the day, because I kind of just admitted this to my mom, which was really funny. I'm like, I just don't want to have sex with a lot of people, so I have like one person, and the other people I just will date
Well,
and
we're
get
at
to
this
know and all
age,
this
you know?
stuff.
It's
And then
what
if
it
I'm
is.
dating somebody, I'm like, okay,
There's
well, we're
always
gonna
in those friends with
train that
benefits
off,
things.
but-
There's always one person that likes the other person just a little bit more.
Yeah, but
And
there's
that's a
just
problem.
that funny cyclical part where you can feel like one person's going this way and one person's going that way, and then you're
I don't know.
like,
I've yet to
"Ooh,
find a
go
good
back,"
friends
and-
with benefits
Yeah,
yet, because guys are.
but then you think like that person actually gets to know you to an extent way better than because you're
Yeah.
probably your most pure, your most honest, your most
Yeah.
vulnerable, your most
Right, because you could
asshole-ish,
say,
your
because you
most-
could say whatever you
like-
want without fear of
you're just
retaliation.
Like,
or,
you totally can at some point take it for granted, at some point not take it for granted, at some point be all in, and yeah, I don't know, but
Which is my thing with now friends with benefits and F buddies. I'll try and keep my are two different things. And somebody asked me my definition of friends with benefits. If
Yeah.
there is the word friends in it, I feel there is a level of respect
Yeah.
as your friend,
Yep.
not
you
just
care about that person.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not like you don't have to be in a relationship, but you have a respect for that person. You understand, hey, it's we're adults, we have carnal knowledge, we're having sex, we can go have a beer, whatever. There's a respect. It's not just you're a piece of ass and we're banging on the side. That's a
You
fuck
actually
buddy.
walk in and have a conversation,
Yes.
and then you get to it.
Yeah, I mean, and people are like, oh, that's a good way of looking at it, and that's why I say there's two different things between friends with benefits and,
Bed
hey, what are you
buddies.
doing? I'm hopping over by.
Yeah.
That kind of
Netflix
thing.
and chill.
Netflix and yeah.
I so didn't know what that meant, and then I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go home and watch Netflix and chill." And they're like, "What?"
Yeah,
And I
I'm
was
not
like,
gonna lie.
"What?"
I didn't know what it was at first either. Like, 'cause,
Yeah.
I was way
and
out of the
nowadays,
dating
all
scene.
these new terms, I'm like, I have no idea. I'm so out of the loop.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys agree with the friends with benefits? I mean, do you think
No, I
it's,
think that's
it's
a great
level
statement.
of respect?
Yeah, if it's actually a friend with benefits, then for sure, 100%. You're on.
I'm not a big person on labels. I mean, I don't think the
There you
label.
go back to that one again.
I just don't
I
think that
just
a label
like you,
change.
and every once in a while, I need a little.
Yeah, you can call it whatever you want, but at the end of the day, you have to respect the person you're with, whether you're just bed buddies, whether you're friends with benefits, or whether you're in
Yeah.
a relationship. You have to have respect for that person and what they want out of it. You know. And
But do you have
I don't
respect for
care what
somebody you
call
just
it.
happen to sack with and walk away?
I do. I always did.
Yeah.
Always, no
I
matter
do.
who it is.
Really?
For sure.
I
Like,
feel like there's no
100%.
respect there.
The way I look at it is, if I'm opening myself up to that physical level with somebody, you're that
Yeah.
important that.
Even if it's in the moment, you're still that important.
I've never randomly
don't
hooked
know
up
if
with
I agree
somebody
with that.
I mean, I've had regrets afterwards, but I've never randomly hooked up with somebody that I didn't expect more out of it. I've always gone into it with the expectation that something more
Something
will come of
could
it.
happen.
Yeah,
Always. I'm not just that dude that's just like,
don't
this will be
know.
fun for
I
a
think
night.
as a girl, there's always that little hope. And I think that's where we may, well, I don't know. That's where I
I'm
may
kind
get
of a
wrong.
girl.
Like,
I'm kind of a girl. I'm a little on the sensitive side.
whenever, yeah, I think if I'm going to open myself up to the vulnerability of being in that situation with somebody, then I'm always going to hope or think or look at it like this could be something more, or something down the line something could
Sure.
occur from it. I don't, I think that again, it comes down to that respect level, respect for
Respect.
yourself, respect for
Absolutely.
yourself,
Which I think
respect
is
for-
lacking nowadays. People don't have respect for themselves. I'm just generally
Well,
speaking.
hence the fact that I work in a place where we're all in tuxedos and people come in shorts and, but
But if you don't have respect for yourself, you don't care about anybody. You have no respect for anybody else, which is a lot of what society is. People, if you don't have the respect for yourself, you don't give a shit about anybody else. Which is why a lot of people are stealing your packages off your porch. They're destroying your car. They're hit and run. They're running you over and killing you. They have no respect for anybody,
I
including
think that's a
themselves.
small percentage.
I,
I like to
think
believe
I would
in
say
general.
that's a smaller percentage than it
I
is.
like to
Really?
believe in general people are good.
I do.
I think
I
that.
100% see it all the
I
time.
believe
And
that.
I talked to some people over the last year and a half. I've really focused on trying to create a bubble that is very positive. I don't watch
And here's the-
news. I don't watch
that's it,
TV.
the news.
I don't watch media fed.
The media glorifies all these package stealing
Absolutely.
things, all these shootings. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like if you just don't watch the news, you'll be a happier person.
So much happier. Like people are like, did you hear what
You
happened?
start
I'm like, nope.
focusing on the negative things, and even like political stuff, man. Like I just
No, God, we're about
completely
to get inundated with it.
completely ignore it from my timeline. Like I just,
Yeah.
if there's a site that's political, I ignore it. If I have a friend that's too many politicals, I just put them on snooze. You know what I mean? Like I just don't want that.
Yeah.
It's all negative because
But think about it. Think about the guy that was just on the bus that punched that old guy in the eye.
Right. That's
If
all over
that
the news.
wouldn't have been shared, they wouldn't have caught that guy. So media has its positives and negatives.
for sure. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
I don't know what you're talking about because I didn't see it. But
Yeah, well, it was all over the news.
but-
And
Yeah, some old
Again,
woman
no.
lost her eye because this dude punched her, or is it old guy?
Old
he
guy.
he punched him on the bus because he put his feet up on his lap. The dude put his feet up on some stranger's lap, and the dude's like, "Get your feet off of me!" And he punched him in the eye and took his eye out. As an
Yeah.
old guy.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say that we can sit all day, every day and find negative things. I wish people would sit all day and throw out some more positive things and some really great things that are happening. And I wish more people would respond to those positive things without going, ugh, just another positive thing, Or,
I agree. I wish there would be more
people would
positive.
just be like, oh, that's pretty awesome. That's great. Like,
Yeah.
The bubble that I love to create for myself is like, if you aren't bringing positivity into my life, then I don't really need you in my life. And I respect myself enough for the fact that you should just not be a part of my life. And I'm not going to take it personal. If you don't like me, okay.
right?
Right.
Because I'm still living my true, most authentic me. And sometimes I totally get it wrong.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have friends like Brandy who go, you totally got that wrong. And I'm like, you're so right.
That's why you have
what
good friends.
And you know
Yep.
what? And you move on with that. And I think that's part of where we got into friendships and in dating is giving that forgiveness of, wow, you really screwed that up. Okay. Is that who I am regularly, or was that a moment in time where I screwed that up? Okay, it was a moment in time. Didn't like it. Let's not have that again, or let's figure out how to get through that kind of negative moment in time again. I just think there needs to be more forgiveness and more love and more understanding that actually is out there, though, and the positive sides are there. We just need to focus on them a little bit more.
I agree. I wish there would be more positive. I remember I had a post on my Facebook page. I was like, I'm so sick of seeing all this political bullshit. Can we see puppies and bunnies and kitties on the Facebook feed? I'm tired of it,
Take them off your feed.
Well,
yeah,
I, and
you
I
have
do.
control
I
over
have,
that.
I
yeah,
took it on my
I
feed.
control mine.
I have unfollowed quite a few people because of their political shit.
Lisa,
It's like,
excuse me.
oh no, she got blocked. That bitch got blocked.
Dude, we're not even
She
go there.
got blocked. Like after that rant on my page, I blocked that bitch.
quarterback. Like I just like people who would get all like up in football and sports or
Yeah.
this or that or this politics stuff. So I'm like, by the way, I love that you're passionate. Go vote. Keep it in the polls. Or I love that you're passionate about.
You're
your
not
football
changing
team.
anyone's mind.
Again, you're not changing.
You're not changing
anyone's mind.
What's
You're
the
not
point?
changing anyone's mind.
But here's the
I'm
thing.
trying to argue
you
about
say
it.
it doesn't change
You're
people's
not catching
minds.
the football.
It
You're
doesn't.
not the quarterback.
But there's a way to go about educating your point on something. You know
Not
what
to
I mean?
somebody that doesn't care. No, people are rooted in their beliefs, man. There's no changing your mind. Like you can give them the most educated, well thought out response.
Some are, but
and links to those responses, and they'll be like, no, dude, that's just propaganda, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's-
I mean, no, it's on the internet, so it must be true. So no one's going to believe whether it's on the internet or
There's
not.
Nobody
no
believes that shit
changing. You
anymore.
could be completely logical to the
but
most far left or
I
far
have
right
had
person.
conversations with people about things that I was totally F you, I don't want it. But I looked at it differently. It doesn't mean I agreed with it, but I looked at it a little bit differently, and I kind of understood a little bit better from their point of view.
I 100% believe you need to kind of, to an extent, you need to like learn. We can't just be completely black and white, and we need to learn. But those people who are ranting and raving and just arguing and fighting, you're not winning. What's that? You go back to your win it with honey or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you're not,
Right, they're not willing
You're
to
not
learn.
winning that argument.
I love these people that are like arguing. The first thing they say is, "You're a freaking stupid idiot," and they start cussing at you like,
call.
Yeah, you're like, wow, that's
"This
your
is your
best.
argument?" Like, yeah, no, like you immediately are discredited. You
Yeah.
know?
Like,
I like getting into
You're
logical conversations.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people, have make valid points and go the back and forth. But as soon as it starts turning to name calling and they start cussing you and calling you idiot,
I'm
it's
done.
like,
Shut it off.
what's wrong with you? Like, can't you have a normal conversation? I don't understand that. You know?
Well, and I'm one of those kids who, again, don't watch the news, I go to my parents, and I truly believe my dad is just unbelievably educated. He doesn't make a decision without reading it, studying it, all the behind stories. So half of the time I'm like, so Dad, what do you think? And he'll give me different opinions and thoughts, and I still am my own person, and I'll have my own thoughts and opinions. But like,
It's good to have that sounding board of someone. That's really-
I really, really respect. Like, hey, Dad, what do you feel about this? Like, I mean, I'm the idiot who didn't understand that if you were impeached, you didn't actually, like, I thought impeachment meant you got fired. I didn't know.
Yeah,
that
and a
you
lot
can
of people
still be
don't.
the and then, I mean, like, my dad's like, Bill Clinton. I was like, oh, yeah, huh? But,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
But I didn't get it. And, so I go to people that
You
I
value
feel are
them.
educated. I value their opinion. It doesn't mean I'm gonna totally take that and skew, but I'm gonna listen. And so all of these people who are advocating their points, it's like, have you even bothered to go and
most
listen
haven't.
or talk to somebody else who maybe has a different point of view and why they
Right.
have a different point
Right.
of view? I mean, we have a yin and yang for a reason. It balances life. So we need both sides. We just need to figure out how to get to that comfort or whatever. I don't even know what I'm
Yeah, and while I agree with all of that, and I think it's great to sound off and people that are smarter than you, and I do the same. At the end of the day, I don't try to change anybody's opinion, man. Like, I just don't think, like, when it comes to things like politics and religion and family, like,
Tough to talk about that stuff.
People are rooted in their beliefs, and there's no point. You're just wasting your breath. Like, if it happens at my bar, which happens,
Yeah,
everybody always wants to bring up politics.
I shut him down. I'm like, no.
I immediately change the subject, man.
Absolutely. I'm like, so we're gonna give you a new appetizer because
Yeah.
you're like totally not
Relationships
talking about
is, I could talk about relationships all day, and
Yeah.
everybody's got a
Absolutely.
different opinion about that, and you can definitely, people seem to be more receptive about that kind of conversation for some reason, which is why I think this is a great show.
Yeah.
I think it's a great show because I think there's people actually out there listening to you guys going, hey, you guys have great advice. Hey,
Oh,
this is
thanks.
this is
And we
what-
try to, I mean, we try not to do it one-sided. There are people out there like, you're such a man hater. I'm like, no, if you watched our show, we actually try.
No, you go back and forth, and you're
Yes,
trying to work it out.
And I'm like, I may be a little angry at men right now, but I don't hate them. Trust me, I don't, because if I hated them, it wouldn't
wouldn't
be a
be
good thing. Right. You wouldn't be here. But we do, and I try and give our guy friends and watchers and, points of view from like,
right.
hey, do this, not this. So, we have a call.
I like to think that I have some good advice for them too.
Yeah, and I know Warner gets a lot from this. He likes to, he's picked up a lot of stuff. Let's see, we got her. Hello, caller.
Hello, Brandy.
Hey.
This is Shirley from Florida. Remember me when y'all came to visit years ago with Chris and his daughter?
Yes, how are you?
I'm
Hi, Shirley.
doing good. I saw you on my Facebook talking, so I thought I'd just call. I don't know. I don't know really what it's about, but I thought I'd just call and say hi from Florida.
Shirley,
Hi,
are you
Shirley.
married?
But huh?
Are you married?
Did I get married?
Are you married?
Are you married?
No, I'm not married. Why?
Just curious, that's what, we're just asking, because that's
Sure.
kind of what our podcast is about, dating. So we were going to ask, how do you make it work or how you are single?
I'm still single. I never got remarried.
Shirley
No, I
is
don't
Shirley
think
is
I'm planning.
that's my mom's name too. I love this name, Shirley.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
How's the weather in Florida?
Well, it's kind of it's nice. It's kind of not too cold. It was like 30-something degrees this morning.
Yeah, I heard
Ooh.
lizards are gonna start falling out of the trees soon.
Yeah, do you have lizards around there?
Huh?
There was an article flying around that the iguanas are going to be falling out of the trees in Florida.
Oh, well, hopefully not here.
Like big
Maybe
ones.
down south, I don't, huh?
We got different kind of lizards out here in the Las Vegas dating scene.
Yeah.
Different kind of
Yeah.
lizards.
Well, I just wanted to call and, I saw you and the other guy talking. I said, well, there's the phone number. I'm going to just call just to say hi, whatever. I don't know.
That's
I
so
never
sweet.
talked to anybody on the radio show.
Oh, well,
So-
thank you for calling, Shirley. It's good to hear from you. I know it's been a few years since we've been down there.
Surely it has.
Yeah. Yeah, we, everybody's doing good. I have 6 grandchildren. Well, Sean, Isis is set at 10, and they're going to have another baby in April.
Oh, wow.
So,
Good for them.
Yeah. And Shannon has
that's another
5,
topic.
so
5.
we're all doing okay. 5 kids, so
You're
hopefully
busy.
that's
You got
gonna
your
be
hands
it.
full.
Yeah, no. I work with kids, so
Oh, that's good.
I'm on launch. I'm on launch right now, so
It's a good thing
Might
you
have
live
to
so
go
close
back
to
to
Disney
working.
World out there. Take all them kids to Disney
no,
World.
I don't. I live about 6 hours or so from Disney World.
All right. Well, that sounds like a fun road trip.
Load them all
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you go, and y'all be good, and I'll talk to you another time.
Oh, Shirley, thanks
Bye.
for calling.
Thank you
bye-bye
very much.
now.
Bye-bye.
Uh-huh.
That was sweet.
She's super sweet.
Yeah, kids, man. Oh. So you got kids,
Is that your next
Leanne.
gen? is
None
it
of
no?
us here. None of us
Is
here
that-
have
I was
kids.
like, is that your next
Oh, I thought
step?
you said you had a daughter. You don't?
No,
Oh,
goddaughter,
okay.
but no.
Yeah, man. So I don't talk a lot about this on social media, but I definitely bring it up a lot. Like I talk to my friends and coworkers about it, and sometimes randomly people at the bar. And
Because
so
you don't know them, so you can tell them whatever you want.
this is a great story,
Great
and
advice
it's,
from people.
this is a heartwarming story. I don't know if it has to do with dating or anything like that. If it's off topic, you can interrupt
no,
me.
let's hear it. We'll tell you. Shut up.
But Terry,
No.
we've been trying to have a baby for a couple years and have been unsuccessful. Terry's older, so it's difficult for us, and we've tried some help. We've been going to clinic, fertility clinic, and stuff like that to try to help, but. It was on our radar, adoption was on our radar, but it wasn't something we were immediately planning on doing. And then randomly, just a few months ago, some random guy that I was talking with
Oh,
us
you
about.
told me this story. That's
Did I
right.
tell you?
Yeah, I want to hear it. It's a good
Dude, I
story.
almost want to cry just telling it.
It's a good story. This is really good.
So this dude sits in my bar and we're just talking. Next thing you know, he's like, yeah, well, have you considered adoption? And, after we're talking about, he's having grandkids and he's almost the same age as me.
Wow.
He was a
Right.
few
Oh, no,
years
it's
older
true.
than me.
Woo.
And I'm going to be 45 next
Yep.
month. And the thing is,
Goddamn
An average person has a 22-year-old, so
Right. So, we're trying to jump into this late in life. And he's like, we thought about adoption. I said, well, we've thought about it, but we want our own and we're going to keep trying to do it on our own until that's the last resort, And also, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Adoption, is like a $30,000 bill.
I cost $500. I was adopted.
Oh, what a bargain. They got their money's worth.
Woo!
No.
But so this dude was just like, yeah, I spend that on golf in a weekend. Let me help you with this. I was like, what?
Wow.
He's like, yeah, no, I want to, I always thought about it. I always wanted to adopt and, I never had the opportunity. I've been busy with my business and stuff. He's like the CEO of a tax service, a very big one. And he's like, yeah, so stay in touch with me. And when the time comes, if you need the money, I'm going to help you with this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
pretty
Right?
amazing.
Dude,
Right?
he
Got
tipped
the chills.
me a $200 bill and walked off my bar, and I kept in touch with him. And we've gone to a couple different adoption agencies. We're actually talking to a third one tomorrow. We weren't thrilled with the first two that we talked to, but so we're going forward with that process. But man, it just reassured me that there are good people in the world.
Absolutely.
That was a great. He told me that story. I'm like,
love
that is
that
There are
story.
good people.
And-
You hear stories about it, but I never expected something like that to happen to me. And it just goes to say, honey with vinegar. It just comes right full circle with that, man. The way I talk to people, I'm open about my life. I'm open about myself, and I'm always really nice and respectful to everybody I meet, no matter who they are. I didn't know this guy from the other
Yeah.
dude next to me,
Right.
that was a truck driver. Like I didn't know who he was. We were just talking and having a conversation about life, and he decided to open his arm and his
That's really huge. That's really amazing. I think that those gestures are fantastic. And I've learned this recently where I'm pretty guarded and don't talk about a lot of personal things. And so now, where I'm at the more I open up and the more I have more of an ability to connect people or to get connected to someone just by randomly having a conversation. And I think the openness is really huge. And
I've had
making
a
yourself
problem.
that vulnerable or talking about stuff like that is pretty amazing. And I think that's where we go back to saying you're going to see a lot more of the positive reactions and the more positive influences than the negative. So that's huge.
I've always had a problem balancing my whole life being too open. I've always been a wear my heart on the sleeve kind of person. I've always been too outspoken and had to like reel it back. So, you know, and my parents reinforced that. They were like, don't put your business on the street kind of people. You know what I mean? Don't tell people about your finances. Like, I don't care who knows about my finances.
I got no money. What are you talking about?
Maybe somebody's going to have good advice for me.
Right?
And a lot of times I've told them about what I'm doing with my money and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, here, do this, then this. And I've taken that advice. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm a firm believer in the more open you are and the more you put out there, the more you're going to get back.
I would definitely say
And in
over
this
the last
case
year
is
that's
a
happened too. And
perfect
that's
example of
fantastic.
that.
Well, I had a similar, I mean, I'm adopted, so, and I keep that a little bit like, okay, this is it. I love my parents. My parents had me since I was 6 weeks old. It's amazing. And I had some guests at the bar and they were just ripping at adoption and finding your birth parents and all of this stuff and how negative and da-da-da. And I was just like, you know, I go, you don't know who you're talking in front of.
Right.
And you don't
Right.
know how you're offending. And yet we want to be open, but if we're having a one-on-one conversation, we're open with each other and we're careful of who we're around. And I kind
Right.
of just
I'm not
went
going
over
to tell
there.
a racist joke if there's somebody at my bar that's
Yeah,
like,
and I kind of just went over there and I was like, hey, you know, like not trying to butt in, but we're bartenders and we hear everything. By the way, we hear everything.
yeah, we are listening. Trust us.
To everything. And,
Flies on
you know,
the
I just
wall.
said, like, you guys have a really negative opinion. I just want to give you a different perspective
Yeah.
on it. I said, you know, like okay, if my parents ever hear this, they don't know this, but I sought out, you know, birth family and immediately was able to find a half sister. And she's amazing, you know, and we connected and we've stayed connected, and it's just been a really, really hugely positive thing. And this maybe just from coming from maybe possibly adopting someone, having this, I never thought it mattered until I saw like blood and flesh and then this person, and we're not like thick as thieves and she's, you know, as whatnot, but adoption is so huge and so amazing and just making that connection. But sorry, I'm digressing, but
It's quite all right.
That's okay.
getting into conversations where you're talking about personal things or talking about stuff and being open with people, I don't think it's ever a negative thing if you're coming from a positive place in your heart.
Right.
You know, and I think that there's going to be more people that are going to help you than
Agreed.
than hurt you. You know.
Yeah,
So-
I 100% agree. And, you know, some people are more guarded and some people keep, you know, their feelings and their social life and their personal life close to their vest. And I understand it. I get why people do it. I've never been that way. I'm a big softy, man. Like I just want, you know, I guess I could feel like I'm broken, and I feel like other people are more stable and have better, you know, structure and can always help. You know, I just feel like the more that you put out there, the more help you can get.
It's a village, right?
Yeah.
And that's what Michelle just said.
I mean, it's a village.
It takes a village, and it's true. It does.
You know, there's going to be those extremes, and that helps you know that that's a boundary for you. And
Right.
you know, top, bottom, this, that, the other way. You know, like everyone has opinions, and I think the
Top,
more,
bottom. Why does it always come back to sex on this
I
show?
don't know. Could be
It's always coming around.
Some
to
of
sex.
us ain't getting it. Damn it.
I just learned those are phrases in the letters too.
Oh, jeez.
and bottoms.
Like you have to
That's
claim
a
what
different lifestyle. That is a different lifestyle.
Yeah, that finish ball's coming up. You guys want to go to finish balls?
That is in October.
I love the fact that right now every man that knows that the AVNs are coming into town. Like I keep getting this. Oh, but I go, yeah, it's convention season. Yeah, the AVNs are coming into town. I'm like,
Yeah, right.
How does every man know? It's like on their calendar, it just like pops up for them.
I don't know. I never understood that. Like I just like to look and see on the calendar because it's just money in my pocket.
Right.
Like I want to
Fair
know who's
enough.
in town and who's spending the money, and they're good tippers, man. So you know what? Let them
Yeah,
let
they
them
got
porn
the tip.
stars leave and throw some money on the bar.
So not to cut you guys off, we got to wrap it up. I want to thank you guys for being here. Do you have any last minute words of encouragement for anyone that's listening about anything that we talked about today?
Dudes, be chivalrous.
Ooh, that's a
Call
good
back.
one.
Pull chairs out. Put the food on their plate if you're on a date. Let her order first. You know, be chivalrous. That's it.
Yes, I love that. That is great.
I know.
Buy flowers.
Oh, I love flowers. Leanne?
Oh God, yeah, too much on the spot. I don't know. Just if it's for men, yes, please be that way. If it's for women, you know, give a guy a break. every once in a while, just
Good advice.
let them be them and step outside your box a little bit and actually take the time to get to know them and let them break down and be vulnerable for you.
I agree. You guys are awesome. I've got a lot of people are saying great show today. So you guys made my show really good. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was really fun.
Thank you,
I
Randy.
appreciate having me on.
I'm glad you guys were here. And before I go off, I have to read something real quick because I don't want you guys to all log off. Because remember, this is Radio Vegas. We want to thank Kicker Audio back here. There are don't log off. Coming up next is Die Laughing Records radio podcast. It is 2 hours of punk rock with punk talk
nice.
with the Go 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 Girl and all the crew over at Die Laughing Records. Stay logged in. Check them out. It's good stuff, you guys. I appreciate you coming in. It's been fun, and with the hit that it has been, I'm sure I will probably have you guys back on.
Sounds good.
Next episode, I may have a hot hunk on here. I'm not sure where we're going.
Hey,
with
wait.
that.
I'm not going to take that offensively, right? You want to see his body?
Ladies, do you
Yeah,
want to see
whatever.
Elton's body?
No, you don't. Trust me.
So, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for logging in. Leanne, thank you. Elton, thank you. It was a lot of fun. Hope you guys learned something. Good or bad, I don't know. We always try and
Take away.
educate, and have you guys take away something positive, as Leanne said.
Sorry.
So,
Positive.
Working on it.
thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Peace out.
Bye.
Awesome. I have to pee.
Me so bad. Hold on. Me first.
I need to log off the.
We're all, can they hear us still?
Yeah, actually, yes.
We're all like, we all need to go.
All right.